Let's talk about it, man. Oh yeah, it's a real prompt. I definitely want to hear this. I want to hear, I want to hear the reasoning. I want to hear the reasoning because I've heard, I just hear a lot of, I honestly, I ain't gonna even hold y'all. I just be hearing a lot of men say that they don't want to date American women, and I'm very perplexed by that. So it made me ask the question: who is better suited for a relationship, American men or American women? You guys are saying neither. That's crazy. That's a little wild. We're gonna bring up Casey. Let's see Casey. I'm very curious. Both about the same, huh?
I
Oh my
don't
god.
think either of us are, honestly. Um, I guess I can only speak as to like the black community because I don't know what goes on too much in other people's
Got it.
community. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay. But I feel like in the black community, we're not taught to be wives or husbands, because we're just taught to survive. Um, yeah.
You. What do you mean being taught to be a wife? How are you taught to be a wife or a husband? What are the specific qualifications that you feel like you need to meet to be a wife or a husband?
Um, I feel like the way we communicate with each other, the way women communicate with men, the way men communicate with women, but a lot of us weren't taught to communicate with each other, which I feel like which is why we're having such like a communication barrier now,
You
especially in the black community. So,
you think black women don't know how to communicate with black men?
well, I don't think we're taught to. At least in my single parent household, I was raised by my mom. My mom was the man and woman of the household, so she didn't really have to take a lot of crap from men. She didn't, and she didn't really teach me how to communicate with men. I only watched my mother running a household. I didn't really watch her, I guess, communicate with other men. So I didn't really know how to when I grew up. That's something I had to navigate for myself.
This is interesting. So how do okay? So
Do you think it's fair to say that like men and women communicate differently? Like I think men love through respect and women love through um I'm trying to like I'm trying to word it better if that makes sense.
yeah, nah, I don't think men and women love differently. I
Um
think I
I
think that I think that I think that you can't have love devoid of respect. So both parties want respect. Women want respect and men want respect. Men say that they would take respect over love. But what they mean when they say that is they want you to never question them, right? They don't
Wait,
mean
say that
they
one more time.
say what
I said say that again.
they want. So most men when they say, pretty much every man that I've ever heard, like anytime, because it doesn't make sense like logically, because you can't have love without respect. So when men say that they would take respect outside of love,
Mhm.
what they mean is, or in, not outside of love, but when they say like I'll take the respect over the love, what they mean is they just want a woman who is going to never challenge them, because that's how they
I
view.
don't
That's how
I
most
don't
men
think
view
that's
respect.
necessarily true.
That's not true.
I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, when I
What?
first got with my husband, I'd say in our earlier years, because we met when we were in college, and I guess back then I was operating in a lot of trauma. I can only speak for myself personally, but
Yeah.
when we get into disagreement, arguments, I my thing was I felt like it was hard for me to be heard, especially in the household that I grew up with. So when I used
Mm-hmm.
to argue, I used to raise my voice, and I didn't realize until I got with my husband that you don't always have to raise your voice to be heard. And I think that was the thing for respect for him. When we would argue, he wouldn't feel respected because he felt like I would either try to bull guard him or raise my voice over him, stuff like that. And so I
Mm-hmm.
feel like when he told me, I need you to respect me first before you love me, that was the part that he was talking about. When you talk to me, I need you to
Mm-hmm.
lower your voice. I need you to watch your mouth, and how you say certain things. Because when I say my mouth was lethal. But it was because I never was taught I needed to respect a man. And in my
I,
household, I didn't see my mother respect, I guess, a husband or, certain things, or I didn't see a healthy dynamic. So I didn't know a healthy dynamic. And I think,
The thing that I find odd about this, though,
hmm
is so these same men were raised by black women,
yeah.
and apparently black women have a tongue on them or whatever you're saying. So shouldn't they be used to that behavior?
Just because you're used to something that doesn't, I don't think that means that it's effective or that it's okay.
No, but listen to what I'm saying though. So if you grew up with I grew up with the black mama, right?
Hmm
And you're making I mean I'm just using your logic.
Yeah.
And most black women speak a certain way and their tongue is quote unquote like you said lethal and all of that stuff.
No, I
And
said my tongue was lethal. I'm
I
not
know, I
saying.
know. I'm saying, but you're using you as an example to represent black women because that's what you're talking about right now,
I mean,
right?
I can only go based off my experience, but I guess so. At least for me and my circle, we've all had the same. Me and my circle of, I guess, family members or whatever, because I came from a lot of broken households or a generation of broken households. So I can only speak for me and my family and stuff like that. So
Okay, I'll put a pin in that. But let me get back to the question. So, the thing that I find odd about this though is
hmm
because, like I said, black men grew up in the same households with you as my sister,
okay,
as my cousin, as my
okay.
auntie, as my mama. But for some reason, when we get in a relationship, all of a sudden we can't deal with how black women talk to us. Does that make any sense to you logically?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying is we operate in a place of trauma. When you operate in a place of trauma, you're not going to get, I guess, healthy outcomes.
I hear that, but I know I understand that, but do you not understand what I'm asking you? Like, because I'm saying that if okay, let me take it back, and this is why you shouldn't do this then, because if you're personalizing it, which you're not, you're actually saying it's not just you, it's even all the girls you know in your circle, so it's not even personal to you, right? But so we're talking about you. I was talking about men and women in general. You said black men and black women. That's fine. So we're talking about black men and black women in general, right? Do you think that black women, because I asked you, I said, do you think that black women have a difficult time communicating with black men? Do you think black women struggle with communicating with black men? That's what I'm asking you. And then you
Yeah,
gave
I
your
don't necessarily think we understand each other either.
well, not that though, but you used yourself as an example, and you said
Yeah,
that you yell and da 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 da. So to me, I took that as this is what's common amongst black women. Was that safe to assume from my perspective?
I guess to some extent, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm asking is, once again, if you are average, right, in that regard, it's common, right, because that's how most black women talk, or a lot, even a lot, whatever. But let's say because we're speaking in general, so most. Let's say that's how most black women communicate.
Byline quite
Black men grew up in the same homes with you.
specific reference
How aren't black men
wasn't
used to
was
that?
like tones. So basically,
Wait,
with me
wait,
doing
wait,
research, huh? What
wait,
was it?
wait till I'm. Wait, give me a second. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. That was her husband talking. It's very interesting. That was crazy. It's unacceptable. Of
Get
course it
our
is.
roof fixed right now, and he's on
Okay.
the phone with some people, so I don't want to be not a
No,
part of this conversation.
you're good.
Okay.
All right. Um. Yeah, that was interesting. That was interesting. Hey man, I ain't in them people house. I ain't about to judge them. I don't know what they got going on in there. She sounds happily married. Yeah, good for her. What's up, Crystal?
Hey, Public, how you doing?
I'm good.
Who's better suited for a relationship, American men or American women? I'm okay, so I'm gonna have to say American women
Hmm.
simply because I think that we've been doing the work. Like we have looked inward, we've gone to therapy, we've reflected, we've tried to better ourselves, and it just seems like American men, on the other hand, are stuck and a little. I don't want to use bitter, but it just seems like they're stuck in place.
Mm-hmm.
So
I agree. They're going backwards, actually. In most cases, we're going backwards as a group.
yeah, so I would have to say just off of that, American women would be better, better
Yeah.
suited for a relationship. I don't want to say better, but
Yeah,
better.
yeah, yeah. Yep. American men are actually descending, and American women are actually ascending right now. That's concerning for American men. It's causing a greater divide. But yeah, I agree with you, Crystal. I hear that. I respect that. You want to say something else?
No, that's all. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. MC, go ahead, brother. You got to come off mute, fam.
I
There
don't
you go.
know. Okay. Sorry, this is my first time actually doing this.
You're good.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, like you said, American men are descending and American women are ascending. What do you mean by that?
Educationally, economically, socially.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. If that's what you mean, yeah, definitely black women are
Not just black women,
well,
American women. Yeah.
yeah, American women. But I was speaking like specifically with black women. I know for a fact that they're completing college at higher rates than African American men.
Hmm.
Yeah, I do know that, so I don't disagree with that. But I really just wanted to respond to the question that you had above you, which is who is better suited for a relationship, American men or American women? Depending on like what aspect of the relationship, because there, of course, there are many different aspects of a relationship, right? There's financial
Overall.
overall.
Yep. Overall.
If you were going to say overall, um, well, I think that that is a loaded question, right? Because everybody has different values, right? So,
Not really.
what do you mean? Some people,
People that are raised in the same culture tend to have similar values.
right, but within America, there are multiple cultures, correct?
Not really. There's, I mean, I know people like get race confused, but in American culture, a lot of the values are the same. They're like relatively the same. You know what I'm saying? We like America. Yeah, we have American values. Like it's like relatively the same because the system kind of dictates the value. You know what I'm saying? Like so we're all in the same system. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not saying like it's like across the board. It's not a one to one with everybody. I agree, but they're in the same vein. Like trust me, like they're pretty much all in the same vein.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. If I was going to say overall, I say I say men. Um, no, but that's a biased answer, and that's only because I'm basing it off of my experiences.
I'm
Um,
sorry, you said what? The first part? What did you say? I missed it.
yeah, I said that it's kind of a biased answer because I'm basing it off of my experience, and I know that, of course, as a logical person, I know that there's more than just one way to one point of view, right?
Hmm.
So I just judging it like based on like me as as a 20 something man, I'll just say American man.
Hmm.
Um, you know, it's it's hard, man. Because I feel as though men are held to these standards where we're expected to provide, and just be sole providers in a time where it's not even realistic to even have that type of, I don't know, like like mindset anymore. That was something that our grandparents could do because it was it was easier back then.
So you think so you think in the day and age when women make not that much money less than men. I mean, like 3 or 4 grand less than men. Women, you want to talk about black women specifically? More black women are employed than black men. Black women, women in general, black, white, don't matter outside of Asian, women in general have more degrees than men. They're graduating more than men. You mean to tell me in that day and age, men are still looked at in exactly the same way as our grandfathers are? When women couldn't work, when women couldn't provide for themselves, when
They
women
still,
couldn't buy homes, when women also buying more homes than any, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think what you're saying is actually rooted in like logic or like reality at all. I think you're just making that up. I think that's just how you feel. But like if you took a second to really examine the landscape of our society, there's no way you can come to that conclusion. Who told you that men are expected to be providers? Who told you that?
so yeah, again, like I said at the beginning, I'm basing this on my experience, on what I've heard and what I've seen
I
about
know.
from the
Who?
women around me.
So the women around you don't work?
No, I never said that they don't work.
Okay, then how are the men the providers if the women work?
I said that the women around me are saying that they want a man who is the sole provider.
The women around you, what does that mean? Your
The women,
mom? Your
no,
auntie?
not my mom, is in the women that I work with. Also, many women that I see on social media.
Those
Uh,
aren't women around you. Social media isn't, that's
but
your
these are
algorithm.
women that are part of American culture. Is
No, 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 no. Those are the women that are a part of your algorithm. That's what you want to see. You have a preconceived notion that that's what women want. You just the weirdest thing it's almost like you contradicted yourself, but you didn't. But it's really close. You said the women that I work with want a man. Want a man. They work. What are you talking about? They already work. That's what I'm saying. Like it
yes,
just
but
doesn't make sense.
they're not looking to work. They're not looking to have a relationship with their coworker.
Okay, they just don't like you. That's fine. Happens all the
That
time.
that's not what I'm saying though. And
Oh,
what I'm saying is that they are saying that they want a man who can basically take them from the job that they're working, whether that be like Amazon or whatever it be. Like I've worked there
where do you work?
right now, like I'm an independent contractor. I quit my job. I was working in retail for years,
Okay.
but I quit my job. So now I'm just an independent contractor for Uber. Trying to get into real estate.
Okay. So before that, you worked in retail,
Yeah,
right?
and I heard this all the time. You know,
And
because
you're I got you.
retail is female dominated.
I know. I didn't know that necessarily, but I could see that though. So you worked in retail. Cool.
Yes,
And you're 20 something years old. So you're talking about young girls, young women saying that they want to marry a man that will take them out of working in retail, right? Fine.
yeah, but not always young women. Sometimes it's women, you know, like older women as well. But these women that usually say that, a lot of them, they're married to men that are they're not like the, you know, their men isn't saying that they don't have to work, but their men is not making them pay bills, if that makes sense. They work there because they just want to make a little bit of extra money. You know what I mean? Like sometimes a lot of the women I work with, they don't actually pay any bills. They
I'm
really that's just like
MC,
their play money.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm sorry. I gotta say it, man. I don't think you've had this many conversations with all of these women that you worked with. These are weird conversations for coworkers to have, by the way. I don't think you had these conversations, to be honest with you.
People
But
overshare.
but I do think that you got most of this stuff from social media. I can see that, right? Because what you're saying is literally what we see on certain social media pages and whatnot, and that is definitely an ideology that is pushed by a certain group of people, mainly men. I don't ever. I'm 42. I almost guarantee you. I mean, you might talk. I don't know. You do Uber, but I still guarantee you. I talk to more women than you about this stuff, and I have yet to hear maybe 2% of the women I've talked to said what you're saying. Maybe 2%, if that. Like I hear a woman every now and again say that type of stuff. And I don't even be knowing if they be serious, to be honest with you. But let's say they are. It's like very few women are out here talking about my man has to provide for me 100%, and I want to be able to keep my money. And you know what I mean? Like that's not even reality in this country right now. You think the women don't know that? You think the women are like living in like a fairy tale land? I don't know how that could be the case.
No, yeah, and I agree with that point that it's not, like I said, I did say that earlier, that it's the times that we're living in, it's not even like it's not feasible. Like I don't believe that it's even something that I don't know. Like I don't see like the whole sole provider thing even being like realistic for most American men. Yeah, and it's true that I do see a lot of this on social media. I do. That is true. But I see social media as part of American culture.
It is a
So
part of American culture, but you do realize how social media functions, right? Like like
yeah,
what I'm saying is that you realize that there's an algorithm. So I could go on your page and I may see 10 girls making those videos, right? And
yeah,
you'll come on my page and you'll never see one of those things. So if we switch phones for a week, right? Or if we switch phones for a month, you may change your mind. Like I'm not gonna trust me. I'm not gonna change my mind because I know how the algorithm works. Like I'll just be like, all right, I got MC's phone. It's just showing me the thing that it knows that he engages with, right? But if I gave you my phone, you at the end of it, you would be like, I would ask you how many of those videos did you see of women saying that they wanted to be with the dude that was the sole provider and blah 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 blah, and they and all this stuff. Some woman working retail is saying they want some dude that makes six figures and yada yada yada. Like I would guarantee you that you wouldn't see one of those videos on my feed ever. So it's just your algorithm, right? So instead of looking at it like that, what I would point to is if you look at the actual numbers, the majority, and I don't want to get too deep into this part because I don't want to bring up numbers necessarily, but and you can research this on your own, but the average woman and the average man, they date each other. And when they date each other, they date within their same socioeconomic group. So it's not like a woman that's working retail making 40, 50 grand a year is married to a dude that makes $125,000, $140,000 a year. Like that's not common. That's very much not common. Like where is she meeting that guy at? B, that's just not common. People date within their, around the like. She's more likely to date a person in retail. She's most likely to date a person that worked in the mall with you guys or worked at the, you know what I'm saying? If you're a server at a restaurant, she's more likely to date another server or maybe a customer at best. You know what I'm saying? But she's more likely to date somebody that she meets on the daily, somebody she met in school, so on and so forth. Like what you're describing is like kind of hard. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like it's hard for those people to meet and be in proximity to one another.
yeah. I just want to add on to that. That is true. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. So like working in retail, I'm not making this stuff up. So just to say that, just to give an example, right? So, formerly I was like an operations manager for the last company I was working for. Spoke to one of my employees, and they were telling me how they met their husband as another employee. So you're correct. They met their husband as another correct, but that's correct. That's what I'm trying to say. When they actually met at the store I was working. And what ended up happening was, he ended up leaving because he wanted to go be a federal police officer, and it just worked out that way. Now he's making like 80, 100K. But they did meet at like like you said, the same socioeconomic status and
Yeah.
all that. That's true, but I just want to add on to that, or ask you, do you think that? Do you not think that women don't look to see if there's like potential for growth in men?
Of course. That's all. If women didn't date men based on potential, they would never date us because we're almost never prepared to be in a relationship with them when they first meet us.
Right. Okay.
You don't
Yes.
date for potential too? I date for potential, or I did.
Yeah, I do, but like me personally, my goal has always been to, I don't know, maybe it's just like the way that I was raised, and the men in my family are all highly successful, and they are sole providers. So those men, like, I just feel like the pressure is on me, to get to that level, you know?
So you're putting that pressure on yourself. So back to the original question.
Yeah.
Who told you that? Who is telling you that men need to be the sole providers? Because it doesn't sound like women are telling you that. It sounds like you got that from men, which I know you got that from men. Because like I said, women don't say that shit typically. I'm not saying no woman says that. But the vast majority of women, that's not even, like, in my conversations with women, that's not even on the list. Like, not to even, like let's not even go to the, like, where is it at on the list? It's not on the list. Like, I've never had a woman say, yeah, and I want a man that'll be the sole provider. Like, even like number like 15 or 20 or whatever. Like, it's never on the list. It's like, oh, I want him to be nice and kind and honest and, consistent. And, you know what I mean? I want him to, I want him to be economically viable. I want him to make enough money. I want him to, you know what I mean? Like, but I want him to have a certain level of education. I want him to be financially savvy. You know what I mean? Like, it's stuff like that when it's surrounding money. It's never like, oh, I ain't gonna marry no man unless he gonna take me up out of my, my current, unless he gonna elevate my status. Like, the reality of it is, brother, is that women elevate men. Right? So that's the thing why what you're saying to me doesn't add up, because married men make more money than single men, right?
Yeah.
So how can it be that you meet a woman, you already make six figures? Like, that's not common. Usually, if you go look at all the highest earners, they're married, and they were married before they were before, you know what I mean? Like, their women elevated them to get there. They helped them to get there, right? Like the same thing you just told the story. Your people, they were together, they were working at the same job. She freed him up to go make more money. That's typically what I'm a married. Trust me, I understand this. The women free us up to go make more money. They take on the majority of the domestic labor, which allows us to go focus on doing work, right? So especially if you got kids, now they're the ones taking care of most of the kids. Now you can go make more money. So women typically make less money, men make more money. That's what happens. So in a way, you're stealing money from the woman. Not in a way, we extract a lot of value out of our women, right? A lot of times. So it just sounds like what you're saying it's not something you heard from men, right? And I could respect you feeling like you gotta, live up to some expectation or whatever. I would say focusing on being healthy and being happy is a better pursuit. But yeah, you know what I mean? Like, if you gotta try to, you want to do Uber so that you can become a real estate agent and make $100,000 a year or whatever, so you can be some sole provider for a woman in the future. Fine. I don't think that that's a bad thing. There's nothing wrong with leveling up, but I wouldn't be. What I'm saying is be careful doing it for that reason, or be careful doing it with those expectations, because it may not pan out the way you want to, right? And you got to be able to pivot and adjust. But so, did you ever answer the question? Who do you think is better suited for a relationship, American men or American women? Did you answer that question?
Yeah, I did, but
I missed it.
Because I said that I believe that, based on what I was going to get to, but we got into another thing. What I was going to get to is saying like unrealistic standards, but then you talked about algorithms and
So you said men. You said men. That's what they said. I think I missed. I thought I heard you say men, but I missed it. So you said men, right?
Yeah, I said men were better suited because it just seemed like the standards were unrealistic based on like what I was seeing. But it's true, it is social media, but I base culture on. But again, like you said, it's the way that TikTok, and all this other stuff and internet, and how that all, I guess, is trying to show me that. But I don't even like that type of stuff, so I don't understand why TikTok or Instagram.
You do like it.
You think so, man?
I know you like it. If your algorithm says you like it, you like it. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. You can try to tell me you don't like it, but if the algorithm says you like it, you like it. It doesn't mean you engage with it. That's what it means, right?
Yeah.
And the reason you probably engage with it though is because it confirms your implicit bias. It confirms your preconceived notions, right? You want to believe that women are just they're gold diggers or whatever you want to say, or they just want a man to make all this money. You want to believe that's what men want to believe about women. Like, trust and believe. Enough men have said it. That's what they want to believe. It doesn't matter how many women will come up. MC, if I brought up, fucking, I ain't got to bring them up. It's 450 people in here. Put a 1 in the chat, women. If you want a man to be the sole, not one, but if that's like your number one focus, or even a focus of yours is to find a man or to be with a man, to be the sole provider, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if that's not even on the list. I'm curious to see this. Let me see. We got a 2. We got a lot of 2s. They're saying no. The girlies are saying no. Got a couple 1s in there.
Who's had 2-1? I'm dead.
Yeah, 2-1. I get the 2-1. But yeah, so it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that, fam. That's all I'm saying. Like, I mean, it's like no matter how many women say it, men are still gonna be, because men want to believe that. You want to believe that, MC. You want to believe that. It justifies and I might, this might be a little bit too deep. What that does is it justifies certain behaviors, toxic behaviors that men exhibit towards women. It justifies it. That's why men are so, married to that idea.
Okay. And could I hear because I'm assuming that you think that women are better suited. So can I hear you? What is your opinion on this question? Because I wasn't around.
I got you. I'm gonna let Najee go, and then we'll answer it because he said neither, and I'm curious to know why he said neither.
Okay.
What's up,
thank
Najee?
you.
No, you good. Stay up here. You got it. Go
Hey,
ahead,
what's
Najee.
up? Can you hear me good?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the only reason I said neither was because I feel like we're at too much of a debate on whether or not what a real role is between a man and woman to even discuss whether or not it's
Dang, I could barely hear you, man. I could barely hear you. You're muffled.
it might be the mic.
Yeah, your mic really muffled. You said it's a disconnect. And
Can you hear me better now?
Oh hell yeah, you hot. The mic hot now. Let's go. That's hype.
Yeah,
Mic.
I feel like it's like we too much of a debate of what actually is the proper relationship or what should a man or woman do.
What do
So I
you
feel like
think
neither
women?
one of us.
What do you think women are asking of men?
I mean, I feel like just simply just to be there, be supportive and stuff like that, and like actually like care and you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just do like those basic things and not like be like misogynistic and hypersexual and stuff like that. Even some people prefer hypersexuality, but I mean, as a majority, it's feel like as men, anyways. Just be a good human being.
So yeah, it sounds pretty basic from women. And I'm with that. And then what do you think men are asking for?
I really just to like, 'cause I can't speak for every man. Every man.
Nope, you don't got to do.
that.
Y'all don't got to do that. You're not speak. What do you think most men are asking for?
Just like somebody to just somebody to stay at home. You know what I'm saying? Chill, and so that way on occasion they can like, you know what I'm saying? How do I say it? They had to come back to me on that one with that question.
So stay at home. Most men want a woman to stay at home, even though they can't afford
Yeah.
a woman to stay at home. I did a live on
Servitude.
that.
That's it. Servitude.
So they want servitude, which is a
Yeah.
slave. Yeah. So most men want a slave, and most women want a human. And you're saying that neither are. You don't see the disconnect there. It sounds like the women are very much, very much
I
better
feel that it's
suited
like
for the relationship.
I feel like it's like since we're at such a argument or as a disagreement to it, something's going on because they pull somebody from overseas, they'll easily follow through with the same thing.
Somebody
Like
overseas would fall to what?
whatever which one would want, they'll follow through with it. So like to say like, okay, let's say you get like a girl get a dude from overseas,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna do exactly what she asked for, and vice versa.
Who told you that lie?
I mean, it's a thing. I see a lot of people do it.
That's definitely not true, bro. They be
In
coming
my
over here.
in my circle,
Everybody
people
says in
are
my
like very
circle.
supportive.
That my circle stuff is crazy. It's convenient how conveniently in your circle you can see. Like I never see that, right? But in all these, I got various circles too. Like we all got like a lot of different circles.
It's true.
I know, yeah, but I don't know. But okay, so to answer your question, I'm gonna answer MC's question real quick. So yeah, I think that women are better suited for relationships, for pretty much what Najee said, because the things that they're looking for. Well, a part of it is their expectations are realistic, and they're pretty much like baseline, like the easiest. It should be the easiest thing for men to meet. The easiest criteria for men to meet: be economically viable, be nice, be honest, be genuine, be consistent, things of that nature. And then the men, and the same thing with Najee's answer, it's they want a wife slave. And men, yeah. So I think that's a disconnect. I think that is a problem.
Yeah. So you said women are realistic. So are you saying, do you think that men are unrealistic, or
Absolutely.
why do you say that?
Because men want wife slaves.
Well, I personally don't want a wife slave,
What do you want?
I just want to, okay, again, like the people around me have set it up so I'm supposed to supposedly be a sole provider.
Mhm.
And
what is she going to be doing when you're the sole provider?
I guess like if she wants to, she can work. If she
More than likely, she ain't gonna be working though if you're the sole provider, right?
Yeah,
So
right,
she
right.
ain't, so she
Sorry,
ain't working. So what is she
sorry.
doing at home?
What? Yeah, the only reason why I said working is like if she just wants to get out the house, you know.
Yeah, I know. So she's not getting out the house though, because most women who do that, they don't get out the house. They literally are stay at home moms, stay at home wives, whatever, right? So
Yeah,
you want to be a sole provider and you
yeah,
want a stay at home wife, right?
yeah.
Stay at
Eventually,
home wife serving you, servitude, slavery, same thing, brother. You want the same thing. That's why I
I
thought it was
don't
funny
think.
when you said I don't want that. I was like, you just been talking about this whole time. You want to be a sole provider. That's
No,
literally
no. Honestly, not. I want to get to the point where I can afford a nanny and a cook, and that's my dream for myself.
you will never
So that
get there.
I mean, you could say that, but it's plenty of dudes that have done it.
No, there's not.
So
You
there
don't know
are.
one. You
I
don't
mean,
know one dude that's
Jay Z. Look at Sean Carter. I mean, Jay
yeah, you
Z.
ain't gonna be Jay-Z, MC. I'm gonna tell you that, but brother, I love you. I love you like a play cousin. You ain't gonna be Jay-Z, fam.
I mean, you could say that, but
I mean, I can say it because it's true. You ain't gonna be Jay-Z. You closer to being homeless than you are to being Jay-Z. Me too.
I mean, that's cool.
Everybody in this room is 1,000 times closer to being homeless than we are to being Jay-Z and Beyonce, fam. Like, you got to be realistic. So you will never be able to afford the things you're describing. I don't think you know how much those things cost. Like a full-time nanny and a full-time cook. Full-time. Go look it up. You're talking you multi-millionaire. Like you said, Jay-Z. Like, you got to be multi-millionaire status, brother. You ain't gonna be a multi-millionaire. Like, let's just cut the shit.
I
Right?
mean, there's not really any limit to what you can do. I mean,
Definitely there's limits to what you can do, sir. I don't know what planet you're on. I don't know what society you live in. There are definitely limits to what you can do. Definitely. 100%.
I mean, but why place like limitations like that when other men have accomplished them? I mean,
It's not. Sir, can you make it to the NBA today?
no, of course.
Of course not, right? Okay, cool. You making it to the NBA, and whatever you would need to do to make NBA money, you also can't do that either. That's my point. So I
I
don't
mean,
think you understand.
you can make $1 million from real estate investing.
You could. Most people don't.
It's not as hard as people
The
think.
vast majority of people who are in real estate, if you go look up the average amount, the average amount of money that real estate agents make. I'm in California, they make like 60 grand a year, but I don't know what
That's
state.
not
what's
true. That's
they
not
do-
true. The
100
average Maryland, where I'm from in Maryland, the average real estate agent makes over 90K.
That's not true.
Look it up.
The average real estate agent
You
makes
want to
over
bet money on
90K.
it, sir? Sir, do you want to bet money on
I
it?
don't know, man. I'm gonna look it up. We gonna look this up.
All right, hold on. Do you want to bet money on it?
No, we gonna look it up right now.
All right, because
I don't know. I've never looked up Maryland, so I'm not gonna bet money on Maryland. That's what I'm saying.
Maryland real estate is some of the highest real estate in the country.
Yeah, so is Cali.
You said county?
Cali. I'm in California,
Oh,
bro. That's what
Cali.
I'm trying to say. Yeah, that's why I was like, I mean,
I live in the richest black county in the United States.
that's fine.
I'm just telling you, I live in Charles County. But anyways, dude, I'm looking at the first results, 90K. And that's like the average. So you're telling me I can't be a multimillionaire,
I'm not seeing that.
and there are people that are it's literally the first result on Google.
I know. I'm reading the Indeed stuff. I'm seeing it, but that's not. Okay. I don't think this is what I'm saying. It says same as national average.
And that I'm looking at Indeed too, and it says 95K.
Oh, the high is that.
And besides,
Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm just saying it wrong too. Yeah, I'm looking at Indeed. It says it ranges between 49 and 185,000. But yeah, I think the average is the wrong word too, because average is the both of the numbers, or the high and the low added. It's not the median, right? So average, if there's a bunch of millionaire real estate agents, it's gonna throw it off. So, but 95 is not. I don't think real estate agents make $90,000 a year on average. I'll be honest with you. I've been in
do.
sales my whole life, like pretty much my whole career. They don't make. Okay.
I mean, I just talked to a broker. I actually do have my license now.
Most real estate agents fail within the first year. So how could the majority of them make?
But I also just
$90,000?
read something the other day that like real estate investing is like one of the most highly likely to succeed. Like one of the like when it comes to real estate investing, it rarely fails.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I mean that's great, and I wish you the best.
I mean, like I feel like I don't understand why you would put another like limit like that on another black.
Oh
man.
no, it's not a limit. Nope. Don't get it twisted, brother.
Because I don't put people down. Like I don't.
I'm
get
not
that.
putting you down either. I'm living in reality, right? That's all I'm saying. I like to live in reality.
So when
right?
you see me say I'm a millionaire,
So,
don't.
I will be
I'll
happy
remember.
for. Why would I be mad, brother? I'm not no fucking hater. You barking up the wrong tree. I'm a congratulator. You do it. I'm gonna be like, great job. But I like to live in reality. So what I'm saying is in reality, more than likely, you're never going to be able to afford the things that you just said. That's all I was saying. Like you could say, oh, I can make $90,000 a year, right? Trust me. That doesn't provide that. That doesn't allow you to do that. That's so you mean to tell me if you were making $50,000 a year and your wife was making $50,000 a year that you guys would be able to afford a nanny and a chef?
No, sir. But I didn't say that.
I know. So $100,000 a year is not enough money to do that. So how much money do you think you would have to make to be able to provide that?
Honestly, I haven't looked that far ahead.
You couldn't do it with $300,000 a year.
But
after taxes,
I'm aiming higher than that.
I feel you. This conversation is pointless at this point. This is crazy.
Yeah. How much y'all making? The ones that saying 90K is nothing? Because I hear a lot of that, and I want to figure
90K
out.
really is nothing, Najee. I know I know that.
They don't know how to manage money if they say that.
Yeah, because 90K is a lot. You can
They
No,
don't
it's
know
not.
how to manage money if they're saying that. At
It's
all.
not. It's
You
not.
don't know how to manage money if you.
It's not about managing, ma'am. It's not about managing money.
and you-
It depends on where you're at too. But like I live in
all right.
I live
That's
in
true.
LA. I live in LA County, right? So let me tell you, $90,000. How much house could you buy with a $90,000 income in California? What do you think? What do you think that gets you?
Guess it
Probably
depends
like-
on where you live.
yeah,
because
yeah,
we're-
I
probably
know. I'm saying in the state of California,
I'm about to say.
what do
Yeah,
you
Georgia's a
think
lot.
$90,000? How much money do you think you would qualify for?
Not much. I mean, the value.
No. Let them. No. Let them.
Least half of it, like-
Let them answer it. I'm
At least
curious.
half of it.
Huh?
At least half of it, like 55, 60,000.
No. For a house. What are you talking about? For a house. How much money
for a
do you
house.
think? Yeah. If you went to the bank, you were like, I want to buy a house. I make $90,000 a year. How much money do you think the bank will give you to buy that home?
I don't know. We bought our house.
Yeah,
like, straight
people.
up
I
cash.
don't know about that part.
Yeah. So it would be probably somewhere around like $450,000-$400,000 a year, right?
Okay.
What's the average cost of a house in America? Not in California. In America, it's $450,000. That's the average cost of a home in America, let alone California. California's way higher than that.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It says $1 million for the average home in LA.
Yeah. You can never buy that home on $90,000 a year.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you're at. I hear what you're saying, but in most places where people live and you actually make that money, because you don't make that money in bumfuck fucking Arkansas. You don't make that money in Mississippi. You don't make that money in Kentucky. You don't make that money in West Virginia. You make that money in D.C., L.A., the Bay, Seattle, Portland, New York, Denver, Chicago, Atlanta. That's what, San Antonio, Houston. That's where you make that money. And then you go look at the cost of the homes, and you go look at the taxes, and you go look at all of that, and it's like, well, $90,000 really ain't shit. That's why people say that. A lot of us make that much money. We know it ain't shit. We telling you from experience, it ain't shit. $90,000 ain't shit. Trust me.
I need to get on y'all level because
All
dang,
right.
$9,000. What?
Yeah. $90,000 ain't shit. But once again, where do you guys live? That's what I'm saying.
Where I
Relative
live,
to
where I
you
live, that's a decent amount of money. Like that's
Niggas,
Oh, it's good money. Don't get me wrong. It's good money to live. Like you can pay rent.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
so
saying? No doubt about it. You could pay rent. You could have a car. You can have insurance. You know what I mean? Like definitely, you can do all of that stuff. But describing the things you're talking about, MC. Absolutely the fuck not even close.
Yeah.
You need
Okay. So
10 times more than that.
that's true and realistic, but I'm not even thinking that far. I just know that that's my goal. You know, once I get closer to that level, I'll start considering that. But I know that's what I ultimately want. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with me like striving towards.
No. I wasn't knocking you. I wasn't saying don't try to get there. I was just saying if that like I'm saying don't get lost in that. You know what I'm saying? In that idea, like I gotta make $1 million. I gotta make $1 million. I gotta make $1 million. Like, because more than likely you're not gonna ever make $1 million in 1 year. You'll make $1 million in your lifetime, a few millions in your lifetime, but in a year, probably never, right? Like probably never. So I'm saying, what are you going to do if and when that happens? You're not going to get married? You're not going to be happy? You're going to feel like a failure? You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? So I'm under the impression that we as people, black, white, male, female, don't give a fuck. We as people should be striving to be healthy, right? And work on ourselves internally. And not, you know what I mean? Like, the finances are the finances. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta work on yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Right? Yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah. If I didn't get to that, I guess I would face that hurdle when I get there. That's how I feel about it. I'm in the long run, I'm just saying, like, that's what I would like if I can accomplish everything I want to do. Mm-hmm. Is it realistic? No, but I don't live. I've never been someone that, and I've done a lot of shit that people said I couldn't do. So, I mean, like, I just don't, like, I get what you're saying. Like, why would you put the bar that high? Because you might end up hating yourself later, which is something I do tend to do, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
It's very unhealthy. That's what I'm saying. Like, that, to me, it seems very unhealthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not mad. I used to make music and shit like that. I'm not mad fucking punching the air because I ain't a rapper right now. Like, I'm fucking perfectly fine. Like, great. I love my life. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong with having a stable, solid job. I make good money. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? My hairline is all there. Like, I'm like, but more importantly,
that's what's up.
I work on myself internally.
Yeah.
Right. I'm working on myself internally. So, like, that's the important, like, that's the thing that's the most important to me. Mm-hmm. Not the like, oh man, I gotta make $1 million, and you know what I'm saying? Like, the fuck, I'm not even we're good. We living, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead, Najee.
Oh no, I didn't have nothing to say. I was like,
okay.
Listening.
Okay.
Yeah, lit though.
What up, Ashley?
Hey, how's it going?
Good.
That's great. I know you were gonna let Najee talk, so I'm gonna mute myself.
No, he good. He said he ain't got nothing to add. He said he's straight right now. We good. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, as far as the question is concerned, I know y'all have been going back and forth about other things, but as far as the question is concerned, obviously I'm gonna say women, but not for the sake of being a woman, but because how the system is created, and how we have. I'm muffled.
Yeah, you're really muffled too.
Oh man.
Y'all mics be hidden. Like y'all trying to like hide the mic like on like a police thing.
Is it better now?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay. We can hear you though, but it's just muffled.
Okay. Can you understand me though?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I apologize.
You straight?
Yeah, it's probably my phone case. Let me see if I take it off if it's a little bit better. But I do believe that women are better suited. American women are better suited for relationships, simply because we've done a lot of work internally. As far as we are the ones that are more apt to go to therapy. We're the ones that are more apt to look for partnership versus someone that is trying to be in control of something. I think that when we look at relationships, we're more realistic in what we are looking for. Wanting someone, as I think someone else said it in the comments, someone that just wants to be a decent human being to us, treating us like an equal. Not necessarily, I won't say equal, because we're men and women, we're different. So we definitely have different things that we can offer based on who we are as people, our experiences, and our perspectives, and things of that nature. However, I think we've just put a lot more work into who we have become internally, and that comes out externally with all of the things we're able to create, like the entrepreneurship side of it, like going to school and getting these degrees, being more accessible, having more access now to owning property, and being able to navigate those different areas a little bit different than males do. And when we realize and we walk in those purposes, and we walk in those different things, we're no longer looking for somebody to provide for us. We were looking for somebody to partner with, somebody that when we come to the table, we're saying, okay, here's what we have to offer. This is who we are. This is what we can do. Can you meet us where we are? Not necessarily financially, not necessarily in those aspects, but can you treat us like a human being, and can we elevate one another? Not me sitting at home, elevating you, stroking your ego, taking care of your house, taking care of your kids, and all of this stuff while we're unfulfilled, miserable, not treated like humans, but treated it like a cornerstone in the corner on the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a better argument for women to be more capable of partnership at this point in time than men are.
I agree. That's what I was saying. Like, definitely about especially the part about like the expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's like one of the biggest things is the expectations that women have for men are just so much more realistic, and like they're just so much more realistic and like make way more sense to me. And then the expectations that men have of women, I'm like, are you fucking for real? Like y'all are asking for the dumbest shit ever. It's crazy.
I think a lot of the things that are being asked of us add no value to what we're trying to accomplish to live a happy and comfortable life.
Yeah, they don't make you a better human being at all. Like staying home and being a housewife doesn't make you a better human being. Not one bit.
It gives you the ability to go out and typically what happens is be married but be single, so that you can go out and have your fun, do whatever you want to do because house and home is taken care of. That's not true partnership. That's not true partnership. And so I think a lot of times, I'm not trying to like come at MC, but it's kind of delusional to think that so many of us are going to become millionaires. That's not the reality. Even when you look at the statistics and the numbers, I operate from the standard deviation curve of 89.1%. That is what I consider all. Most people fall into that category. And so if you're looking at realistically, you're not going to be a millionaire in this lifetime. It's okay to have that dream and have that idea and want to be able to have that trophy wife and whatever else. But realistically, what you need is a partner that you can elevate with to get to a point where you're comfortable and happy and live life.
Facts. That's facts. So well said too.
I think that's where we kind of have the discrepancy and why men are not as suited, because they're focused on this unrealistic expectation of a woman carrying the household emotionally, spiritually, all of these other things, where all he has to do is go make some money. And now that women have access to that, now that women are now elevating even further in that, it almost becomes, what is the need for a man at this point? And it's not saying that you all don't have value, because you absolutely do. And it's not to say that relationships aren't important, because they are.
They can be.
However, they can be, right. However, if we're already emotionally and spiritually inclined, and then now we have the ability to be financially and able to care for ourselves in that way, again, it becomes a question of, are you ready to partner, or are you wanting to dim my light so that you can go shine?
So I have a question for either one of the gentlemen. But I'm gonna go to MC. I want MC to answer. So do you agree with what Ashley is saying? Do you see what she's saying as far as like the disconnect between men and women because the expectations are like so different?
Yeah, I definitely do know. Like I know what she's talking about, like, just staying at home and like, like you guys were talking about, like the house slave thing. And like when I was hearing that, I was kind of like thinking to myself, like, but what about the women who, that's like what they want? So
Very few women want that though.
I don't know
They,
about that, man.
we just did it.
It's
Yeah,
Very
not
few women want that.
the majority. That's
yeah,
not the
That's
majority
not
of
the
women.
majority of women that want that, brother. They literally fought for the right to not be that person anymore. You see what I'm saying? Like that. Like it's so crazy how obvious something like this is to me, right? Without, I don't got to look up no numbers or nothing like that. I know that women fought for the right to have autonomy, to be economically viable. They go to school, they get degrees, they do all of these things that will point to they don't want to be stuck in the fucking kitchen, right? They don't want to be stuck in the house. Like, that's just common sense. If you know anything about those things, nobody's getting an education so they can go fucking clean up after some man and some kids, right? So and even and most women don't get degrees. Don't get me wrong, but whatever. Just in that same vein, though, these women marched. They put their lives on the line. Appreciate you, Tamika. Thanks for the cash app. They put their lives on the line to do this. I mean, to work and provide and be economically viable, just to get in 2024 and have a man like MC say, "Nah, I don't think they really want that." Like,
I'm not saying that. Okay, so I'm also going by like some of like from some experiences. So like, all right, so I do believe that there's some women that do truly want that. So like, I'm just gonna give you like an example.
some women do want that. Nobody is denying that. Some women want that.
Okay, so I'm saying that some women do want that, and they literally like work towards getting that. So like, I'm so saying that like that we have to both be equal, like equally like contributing in the household, and like what I'm saying is some women just want to be like like mothers, and
Some women. You're
yeah.
speaking about a very small demographic of women.
But okay, that's true. But why is it wrong for a man like me or anyone else to want to go for that small
It's
demographic?
not wrong. I didn't say you're wrong because you want to be the sole provider. I think you're wrong though. Where I think most men go wrong at is you view women as a utility.
Mm.
And so that's the thing. That's how you're looking at her. You're not looking at her intrinsic value. You're not looking at her as what she's going to add to your life in other ways, right? As just like character building, things of that nature. You're looking at her as like, I'm going to have a wife slave. I'm going to have somebody there that's going to raise my kids, that's going to clean up after me, clean up after my kids, cook me dinner, be a servant, because you already said they use the word servitude. So I want a woman to be a service to me and my and potentially my kids, right? So that is where I think most men go wrong. The men that
Bro,
proclaim
let
to
me
want
calm
this,
this. Yo.
that proclaim to want this thing. They don't say like they're not saying like oh man, I want to provide economically for a woman, but I also want to make sure that she's taken care of emotionally myself. I'm going to make sure I'm there for her in this way, and I don't want her to be doing all the emotional labor or the physical labor in a relationship. You instantly went to I need to hire a nanny and a chef. No, sir, you need to cook and clean yourself, and you need to help her out. But you're so disconnected. You want to be so far away from the labor in the home that you think you need. So you're focused on, I got to go make $1 million so I won't have to touch a dirty dish or a dirty diaper. And that's problematic. I'm telling you, you're already going into it with fucked up expectations. I can tell you that as a father and as a husband, those are fucked up expectations right off the rip. Even if you get the money, that's a fucked up expectation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I agree that that's fucked up to think that a woman is supposed to be your house slave, and but and and you're not going to like I never said that I'm not going to cater to her emotionally. Like I don't believe that I don't think that she should just cook my meals and clean for me. And if it never got to that point where I could afford a nanny, we would be like 50-50. But what I'm saying is I really just want to be the person that she can lean on, and I don't feel like that's wrong. Like, and I can support her emotionally too. It's like it's about balance. Like for an example, like I'm also like a part-time personal trainer. So I have a client. Her husband is an officer in the Navy, right? And what about all the women that are like wives to service members, and they knew what they were getting into, and they take care of their children while their husbands are gone, and they chose that. And are you saying they're all just fucking hell slaves? Like,
Most of them are. Yeah, most of them are. And most of them are abused too.
Well, I could tell you. I mean, well, honestly, I don't know what goes on behind closed doors behind my clients. But I do know that she seems to be, for the most part, in the right headspace. She does have a therapist and things she told me about. So, I mean, I agree that is taxing. But me personally, I would try to make sure that I'm always like trying to give her a break. It doesn't like I don't think that any woman should just be the sole person raising the kids. I do agree that it needs to be a partnership. So me saying that I want to be like the head, or even potentially the sole provider is not saying that I'm not going to like help my wife clean or cook or watch the
But you
kids.
didn't say any of this stuff before. That's what I'm just saying. Like you already changed up and you're trying to make it more defined. But I'm saying you didn't say any of this stuff before. Just so we're clear, you said I need to make $1 million so that I could provide or be able to provide her a nanny and a personal chef. You didn't say I want to stay at home wife and I want to make enough money so that she can stay home. But then I'm going to make sure that if she needs a reprieve I'm there for her, that I'm there for my kids, that I'm there for her, you didn't say any of that. Now you're changing your tune.
I would have elaborated if you had asked me. Like if we got to this point, eventually it would have came out.
But you didn't. But I think you're missing the point. It shouldn't have been something that you needed to elaborate on. You see what I'm saying? That your first inclination was, I need to make $1 million so that I don't have to touch a dirty dish, so that I don't have to cook. That's what I'm saying. I like that better. That's the truth. The other shit is now that you hear somebody actually saying it and articulating it in the way that I am, of course you're gonna go, wait a minute, that I don't like the way that sounds, so let me change my tune a little. Like, that's what I mean. Of course you're gonna do that. But that's what you really want. You said it right. You said it in the beginning. That's what I'm taking. You want you want a wife to be of service to you. You literally want to me. You want a wife slave. You want to make $1 million so that she could be a wife slave. Or you want a trophy wife, right? Same vein or whatever. You want this woman to be of a service to you. You want her to be a quote unquote extension of you and to reflect you and yada yada and all that other weird shit that a lot of dudes say when they want this type of stuff, right? But you don't want that woman to be a human being. You don't want that woman to have autonomy. You didn't say you wanted a happy wife. You said you wanted a wife to be of service to you. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't wiggle out of that shit now. Like that's crazy, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like that is the disconnect. That because if Ashley, she'll say like, oh, I want a man that's gonna be a partner to me, and you're like, nope, I want to be the head. I want to be ahead of my wife. That's the disconnect. That's why I'm saying men are not equipped. They're not suited for relationships. We haven't been for some time, right? It's not a new thing. It's not a 2024 thing. The only difference was in our grandfather's day, the women had to be with us. They had to. That's the only difference. They had to be with us, but we haven't been equipped for it in forever.
I think what ends up bothering some men about the conversation is when you put it in the way you put it. Like when you say what it really is. Like you want a house slave. Like that sounds harsh, right? Like you want a servant. Oh,
Thanks for
that
coming up,
sounds too
Ashley.
harsh.
I hear you.
What'd you say?
I'll say about Ashley. Go ahead.
Oh, but everything that y'all are saying, you don't realize is coded language for that. Like, of course, you're not gonna say I want a house slave because you don't even really feel that way. You don't even think about it in that way. But when you actually start talking about what you want, that's what it is. It's just it doesn't sound as harsh, and that's how it ends up turning out. Like in your head, of course, you're like, no, that's my wife. I don't want a house slave. Oh yeah, of course I'll help her. That's not usually how it plays out because everything that you're saying says already that I think that this is her job and I'll step in if she needs my help. But what ends up happening is you don't ever think she needs your help, right? Or you can see that she very obviously needs your help, but like that's her job, that's her role. She has to constantly ask you for your help because you defaulted to her. So yeah, you don't have to call it a house slave, but that's what it turns out to be almost every time.
What up, Mo?
What's good, public? How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling great. Feeling good, feeling great. How are you?
I'm all right. Listen, it's Friday, so
That's right.
This the repeated National Black Holiday, as far as I'm concerned.
Every
So,
Friday. Just got paid.
all right,
Friday
Friday is
night.
my day. Oh, look, or if you're a little older, Friday is my day,
Oh shit.
my day to play. But okay, you not old enough
I
for
missed
that.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Okay. If I could spin the block a little bit. On the earlier conversation, because this is something that sticks in my craw so bad. Being that I operate in the financial services space and planning and everything, when I heard the young brethren talking in such vagueness over the whole, yeah, well, okay, well, what's the steps
Hot
you
shit.
well, I ain't exactly mapped that out, but this my goal. Okay, but exactly what's the steps you gonna get there? Well, I just know that that's my dream. That's what I'm. Hey, woo, shit. Okay, I don't normally do this. Because being that I operate on both sides of the fence. I
Hmm.
feel it is especially disingenuous for me to give free game to the bros because the insight. However, I just gotta. Listen. I'm gonna try to help a little bit of shit out. So when it comes to planning, bros, you need to understand that women are only comforted when you have a very clear plan of direction. When questions are asked to which you don't have concrete answers, okay, that creates uncertainty and mistrust. And that's probably why that woman steps away from you. That's
Hey.
probably why that woman doesn't feel comfortable with you. That's probably why that woman doesn't trust you. Because if you say, hey, I'm going to make $1 million one day. Okay, great. What are the steps you're going to get there? And if all you have to say is hope, a dream, and faith in God, yeah, bro, it's going to be really hard to get that woman to just say, okay, I'm going to stay at home and pray for you. Because that's not a plan. Hopes and dreams are like farts in a fan. I need to know that you got the steps, that you got the capacity, capability, and you doing day by day, step by step, exactly what you plan to execute on. And I'm going to tell you from this perspective, and this was one of the oddest things. This was, I don't know, it was probably over a year ago. I was in a live, the Niglodons, what have you. And they were talking about, hey, you with a man and you lose this job, how long you gonna go ahead and hold that man down and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine, fuck it. Here's the thing. My question to that is, okay, I'm gonna hold that motherfucker down. What is the evidence and strategy and steps of the plan that he has to get himself reemployed? If I don't see a credible, trackable, and sustainable plan, what the fuck am I doing? That's the thing that women are constantly, consistently, and that we need to see. We're not asking you to have the absolute answer. What we're asking you is to have not just a vision, but a concrete, trackable, traceable, and verifiable plan. Why the fuck is this so hard? Don't just have a dream and a vision and be like, you can't hold me back.
I got it.
That's my dream.
I got the answer to that though. So once you present the plan, then you're going to be held accountable for if you deviate from the plan. And so it's better to just be like, I'm trying to build my empire, quote unquote, right? And then that way it's vague. And anytime she interrupts that or anytime she tries to hold you accountable, then you can say, you're standing in the way of me building my empire, right? Because she don't know the plan. Because you don't got a plan either, but she don't know the plan. But if you have a plan and then you deviate from said plan, or you do something, or you just do something that's not on the, not within the plan, and she clocks it, right? Or she goes, I need you to do X, Y, and Z, and then you go, but that's not a part of the plan. She goes, what are you talking about? You can still do X, Y, and Z. You're still on course, right? So that's the reason why they hide the plan, because they don't want the woman to know the plan so that the woman can never hold them accountable. But real quick, hold on, Mo. I brought Plaid up here. I don't want to keep him waiting too long. Plaid said that we're furthering the divide. What did you mean by that, Plaid? You're muted, brother. There you go.
Yeah, I was just at work. I was just chiming in on what y'all was talking about and whatever.
Bet.
And I just really had a comment. I was just saying like, ain't none of us out here perfect, bro. Like, and to try to hold someone like under a standard that you can't even hold yourself to, bro. Like, I feel like that's.
And what standard is that? What standard is that? Say it again. I'm sorry, brother. Your phone's breaking up. I'm trying to hear you. I could barely hear you. What'd you say? Say it again.
I'm sorry about that. I'm at work right now. So, shit. Yeah, I was just saying, like,
What standard are you talking about? What standard who can't live up to what standard? Be specific. Tell me what you're talking about. Let me know.
I was saying, like, if you don't have a plan or whatever, what y'all was just talking about, like, shit, none of us really have a plan out here. Like, all of us really winging this shit. Like, to really be honest.
I think that's projection.
That's projection. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think none of us have a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people have a plan, and I think that, like, it's okay to be like, yeah, I am, like, okay with just working and you know what I'm saying, like saving money, like even saving money is a plan, right? You know, so just to make sure you can have enough money to save and like everybody has somewhat of a plan. It just depends on how complex or how intricate the plans become or are, right? So I think that I just want to be clear. I just want to try to help me understand what you're saying. You're saying because you made the statement that I'm furthering the divide, or we're furthering the divide, and you said that because what?
No,
What made you say?
I never said anyone was causing the divide. I was just saying
You did.
separation continues. I was just saying.
You said the separation continues. I know. So what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is that? That's what I'm saying. What does that mean to you? Why do you think there's a disconnect? Why do you think we're separated? That pretty much. Let me get there. That's what I'm saying.
I think the disconnect comes between, like, certain people just don't understand, bro. Like, not all of us come from the same place. Not all of us have the same dreams. Not all of us have the same, like, upbringing or whatever, or what may have it. But at the same time, like, I mean, like, a plan is only a plan for Earth.
What?
A plan is only a plan for Earth. Like, me and my wife, I don't hardly worry about this Earth. We worried about where we going after this motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying?
Who told you to do that?
Do what?
Let me catch up. I'm lost.
Who told you? Okay. Who told you to only worry about what's going on after this life? Who told you that?
I mean, this life ain't gonna last forever, right?
No, it's not. But you here now. I don't understand who told you to not care about what's going on now on this planet.
I mean, I just don't. I mean, I take it serious, but at the same time, it's like, bro, it's like if you climbing up the ladder, you're climbing up a ladder to way more evil people.
What ladder? What ladder are you talking about? What you talking about?
The fun ladder, like progressing in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, the higher you go, you're gonna meet more wicked people.
Who told you that?
It's true.
That's not true. That's not.
That is true. I've been in the music game for a lot of them people were wicked, right?
Hold
A
on,
lot
hold on,
of them
hold on.
people in high places are wicked.
Hold on. So you talking about in the music industry specifically? You do
I'm talking about
realize that
almost. I'm talking about
99.9%.
almost everywhere.
So wait. Being a
Okay.
teacher and moving up in ranks, being a counselor, that's wicked. What are you talking about?
No, I'm saying like getting like higher up. Like, all right, I'm
That's
just
what I'm
gonna start
saying.
on
I
the
just
top. Like,
described higher up. That's what I mean. So a teacher that becomes a principal, they're wicked. There's wickedness at the top. What do you mean, man?
nah,
That's what I'm saying. Like, get out of that. Get out of that. Whatever you're. That's crazy. Like, I mean, that may apply to entertainment, and I agree with you. I was in entertainment for a long time, but we're talking about the real world, the vast majority of people.
So
Like,
you don't feel like it's like that anywhere else besides the
no.
entertainment
I
industry?
didn't say anywhere. I'm saying I don't feel like it's like that everywhere or most places. That's what I'm saying. I
Gotcha.
feel like in most places, moving up, there's no more or less wicked people at the bottom or the top. It's the same shit. Everybody works together, right? So my manager, I mean, if the salesperson next to me becomes manager, we still work together. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't leaving us. He just got a different position. We still all work together. He just makes more money, has more or different responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just wanted to. Maybe I misinterpreted what you were saying, but like, I think saying that the divide continues and then not being able to articulate why the divide exists in the first place is a little telling to me, because I want to identify why there's a divide to begin with, right?
Because a lot of people just worried about the wrong thing, bro. A whole lot of people just honestly were worried about the wrong thing, man.
Okay, I'm with you there. And who are these people? What group of people? Look, out of men and women, who worries about the wrong thing more? That'd be the question I would like to ask. Let me ask it that way so we can get to the bottom of it.
I would say the men do.
Yeah. So that's the divide. Like, I'm trying to help people understand that there is a divide, right? But it's more like men put a wall up. You know what I'm saying? It's like men put a wall up, and they or no, I wouldn't even say that. It's yeah, you can say it like that. It's like men put a wall up and they can remove the wall whenever they want to, and they just like won't. They just like, we refuse to move the wall, remove the wall. Instead, we tell the women to climb over the wall, and they're like, why? Why would I? I don't need to do that. I'm good over here. I'm already come over. Don't even come over. Just remove the fucking wall. Why did you build a wall to begin with? Like,
like
that's the thing. Yeah.
Or like public. Okay, a great example of this. Going back to, I can't remember who the previous guy. So with the real estate thing, just as the exemplar. So obviously he's very new in his real estate career. There are obviously other people longer in the game or with connections into it that could provide him some insight. But he is very clearly dedicated to the track of and the line of thought that he has into it. And he's not going to be deterred or dissuaded from where he is in it. In my opinion, that's the problem. Because there are obviously a plethora of resources from which he can draw, which I'm gonna put it out there, are more than likely Black women. Because immediately when he started bringing that up, I thought of my cousin, who is a multi-state real estate broker, who could be a phenomenal resource for him, but who I immediately thought of, absolutely not. I'm not going to offer that up, because the frame of mind he's in, I don't think that he'd be willing to intake anything, because he seems to believe he has all the answers. And within that context, with the whole better suited relationship wise, I think the entire thing breaks down because American men are not looking to, and this doesn't matter, race or whatever wise, not willing to look at the input, the capacity. Ooh, that's horrible. Not willing to look at the knowledge, capacity, capability, offering, insight, la la la, whatever from women. Because listen, fellas, at the end of the day, we just want you to be better. And we're not looking to snatch your shit. We just want you to be better, period. Like I offer counseling, upgrades everything to men, and I don't charge for shit. But even still, men are like, nah, because I don't want no bitch telling me what to do. And fellas, this is the downfall of us all. End of story, case closed. I'm done.
Facts.
Can I
Yeah.
speak?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. I just wanted to say, like I never say I have all the answers. And like I don't carry myself that way. And since you've been speaking to me, I listened to what you had to say and I gave my feedback on it. And I never said that my answer was the correct answer. So that's not even true. She's making these statements about me that are completely false about my character. I am very willing to listen to other people's perspectives, and I've been listening this entire time. So that's completely untrue. And yeah, and I'm not a sexist. I do not say that I'm unwilling to listen to what a woman has to say. Like she spoke on that, and she said that I'm not listening. The way she said, I'm not listening to no bitch. I'm not that type of guy. So the majority of the women, and like the majority of people that helped me elevate the most in my life, have always been women. I was raised by a single mother. Like,
Yeah, don't say that type of stuff, man. We good. You don't need to tell us. You don't need to give us a resume on, like, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't gonna beat the allegations by saying I because of your proximity to women. That's the complete opposite. Usually, as soon as you do that, you confirm that you are indeed sexist. Because a non-sexist man would actually understand that none of that matters.
what do you mean?
It doesn't matter that a single mother raised you. It doesn't matter if you have a wife. It doesn't matter if you have a daughter. It doesn't matter at all. None of that.
But
The
why
same
is
way, if a white
why is
person
it
got
okay?
accused of being racist,
But why
they
is
could
it?
never tell us that they have proximity to a black
Start
person.
talking, man. Okay.
No, I'm not done talking. I'm not over talking you. I'm literally not done
That's
talking.
why I haven't been speaking, because you keep over talking me.
I'm
just gonna.
not.
Okay, I'm gonna leave.
Okay. That was weird. That was a weird ending to that.
In public, see that right there, that is part and parcel, perfect exemplar of the issue that remains, and why when you say who's better suited, you really at the end of the day, is 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But we're still fucked when we're done,
Yep.
right? Because we're still not going to get anywhere, because if one side,
That's exactly what I was saying.
yeah, every time you delineate some shit, I gotta come back and say, well, you said something generalistic, but I gotta tell you, bitch, why that don't apply to me. It's like, sir, we're trying to solve a larger problem to which it may or may not implicitly and completely apply to you. Probably, maybe a little bit, but whatever. But for in the context of a larger point, just try to step outside yourself to see it. And because we cannot and we will not have the broader conversation, we still stay in this piece. But public, thank you for continuing to have this shit, because your patience, baby Job is looking at you like,
My patience is wore that I'm getting more and more patience, because when you start to really hear what people are saying, you even when they try to attack and all of that stuff, you really, you get used to it. You're like, all right, this is what's really going on. So it's making it easier and easier.
I'm gonna hit you with the pure Southern, because I know you Southern Cal and you try to claim Southern, but you're not. But listen, I'm gonna hit you with the "you better than me."
You better than me is so passive aggressive. that's you better than me is the equivalent of I'm gonna pray for you. I hate both of them equally.
Okay, I'm gonna put the hands of Jesus on you, because I love you for what you do, though.
Pray for yourself. Don't pray for yourself. You need it more than me. That's what I be saying. They be like, I'm gonna pray for you. I be like, nigga, pray for your mama. What the fuck? Don't pray for me. Oh man. All right, Mo. I appreciate you coming up though. Have a great night. I know it's late over there on the East Coast. Midnight, what's good with it? Midnight, what's good with it? Ornery, that's terrible. All right, Mr. Memphis, what's good?
Hey everybody.
What's happening?
We talking about the topic, or we just going into like
Oh
the
no, we talking about the topic. Yeah.
okay?
I like to always go
Who
back
is
to the topic. Yep.
who is better suited for a relationship, American men or American women?
Mm-hmm.
Women,
Okay.
and it's because women have been put in a place of society where they've had to take the short end of the stick, and when you've been given the short end of the stick, you're forced to do the internal work.
Mm-hmm.
When I stay with men, when you're put in a place of society where you're not expected to rise to the occasion, you're not going to, especially when you're given a participation trophy anyway. Um, Men are socialized to do not to be good for the sake of being good, but to be good for things, i.e., when the other two
Money.
men, even player, were up
Mm-hmm.
here, and they are doing these things because I want a wife, I want to make the money, I want my ego stroked because I make this money, not
Mm-hmm.
because hey, I want to do these things because I genuinely want to provide for the people that love me. It's about status. It's about the fundamental um keeping misogyny in place and keeping it within yourself, because without that you have nothing, because men aren't validated anywhere else but in
And
patriarchy and
misogyny. Yeah.
misogyny, which is to their own detriment.
Yeah. They
And
could
also,
be validated outside of it because women do
but they choose
validate
not
it,
to.
but they choose not
Yeah,
to
they
feel
they
validated.
choose
Yeah.
not to. They
Mm-hmm.
choose not to because they fundamentally cannot see women as human or
Got
anything that is
facts.
feminine, including their
Clock it.
own mothers.
Clock it.
And so when we get into the nuance of just all around history, overall history, these people are anti-intellectuals, and anti-intellectualism will be the detriment of the human race, especially Black people, because that's the point of white supremacy. That is the point of the patriarchy, to keep you complicit and to keep you uneducated, where you won't ask the questions, you won't go back to the drawing board. They don't want to go back to the drawing board because if they were to get to the end of the drawing board, they would see that they have chosen the side of evil, and their fathers and their uncles and their mothers, in most cases. It's all about indoctrination, especially us as a people.
Facts.
But I say women simply because when you've been starved of something that is your birthright, human rights, you once you get it, you don't let it go. You know,
Mm-hmm.
especially when as you know, as women, as queer people, you have done the history. You went back and said, "Hey, we were the target for these things. We were the target for these oppressive systems, and men and other things were just collateral damage." Women were the target for patriarchy. Men just saw the collateral damage. Even with white supremacy, Black people were the initial target, especially Black Americans, but everybody else is collateral damage. And they don't want to see that because these oppressive systems directly create narcissism, and everybody knows you cannot cure narcissism.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when you make people complicit, you make them ignorant. And when you're ignorant, or I like the analogy I like to say, I can't remember who said it, but y'all can correct me if I'm saying it wrong. If you make the dumbest man feel like he's better than the smartest woman, he won't even know that we're looking down upon him. Like basically, if you
Mm-hmm.
make the poorest white man feel like he's better than the smartest Black man, then you have him by the pockets. He won't even be able to tell that
You robbing them.
you are running his pocket. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes back to them exploiting the human nature and and exploiting the superiority complex. Even a lot of men, they have the God complex. Why? Because you're supposed to be a God fearing person to this God fearing man. First of all, your God is non-binary, but let's start there. Um, but yeah, Black men are the YT women of the Black community. Black men don't want equality or equity. They want to push the white man out the seat and put their Black ass in it. We are not going to get anywhere because they're not upset about oppression. They're upset that they cannot perpetuate the amount of oppression that the white man does.
Facts.
Um, but yeah, I'll land my plane here. Protect yourselves, women, not only emotionally, physically, and spiritually, but overall, because nobody is coming, especially for Black women. You have to protect yourself because we see what type of men are coming.
Mm.
But it's a shame that we have to say that, but you have to protect yourself. If something happens to you, they don't see you as a victim, they see you as a co-conspirator. They see you as a perpetuator in your own demise and your own violence.
Mm.
But I'll land my plane there.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Najee, you came back. What's good, brother?
Oh, my wife wanted to say something real quick. Hold on.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, my wife wants you good. You can say
Oh,
something.
you said your wife? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, when you're saying a housewife, when you guys are saying like wanting to be a housewife is like a woman slave, what is that supposed to mean?
I didn't say that wanting to be a housewife is a
No,
woman slave.
like when you was like saying like being a housewife is like a woman slave, a
No,
house slave.
I said men want a wife slave.
What does that mean? What's a wife slave?
A woman that does the vast majority of the labor in the house while the man, while the man neglects her and emotionally and economically abuse her.
Okay, because I was like, why are you guys comparing like taking care of your family, cooking and stuff like that? Why is that compared to slavery?
What did the slaves inside the house do for the masters?
Yeah, but like, is that like how your husband is going to treat you at home?
Most
Like,
husbands, yeah, most husbands do that to their wives.
if you don't have a husband, okay, and you still have to do all this stuff. Who's supposed to be doing all this stuff?
Wait,
Supposed to
you-
be cooking, cleaning,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
yeah, but you know that, like, so by that same logic, let's ask men that question, right? The men who get in, like, you're right, men were cleaning up somewhat before and they were cooking somewhat before they got a woman, but for some reason when they get a woman, now all of a sudden they don't know how to cook and they don't know how to clean, right? So it's like, yeah, we all got to do it, you're right, but it's obviously harder to do it when when there's another person or more people, kids and whatnot. Because now you're doing 4 times the cleaning, not, you know what I mean? When it's just me, I'm cleaning up a bowl. I got 4 dishes, 5 dishes. You know what I'm saying? At tops. When it's me, my kids, my wife, yeah, we got a sink full of dishes every 15 minutes. See what I'm saying? And then you're talking about the frequency and just let's just do the math. The frequency in which you would need to sweep and mop increases 5-fold, 4-fold, because there's 4 people walking in the house trekking in dirt, right? Like, just everything just amplifies because of the amount of people in the home. If it's just you and them, it's doubled, right? So if you could have got away, because if you take 1,000 steps all over the home in dirty shoes or whatever the case may be, it takes you 3 days for the floor to get dirty enough to where you need to mop it. If 2 people do it, that's going to happen pretty much every day, every other day, right? So now you have to mop more often. Now you got to sweep more often. So it's way deeper than like, well, I'll be doing it anyway. Yeah, you would do that, but you would do it less, right? If you got to cook a meal, it takes half the time to cook a meal in theory, right? If you're prepping, the prep time increases if you're cooking for more people. It goes down if it's just you. Like, there's a bunch of things that go with that, right? So I know that. Like, I have a wife, I have kids. I know what it looks like, even though I wasn't a stay-at-home husband ever, but my wife was a stay-at-home mother, and I got to see that shit firsthand. I got to see all the things that she did. And still does for the most part, for in a lot of ways. But yeah, that's crazy. Like, and the amount of people that downplay domestic labor is wild. Even women downplay domestic labor. They don't recognize it as real serious laborious acts. Like, they'll be like, yeah, I mean, everybody got to cook and clean. I'm like, cooking and cleaning is some of the hardest shit to do. I'm wore the fuck out after I cook and clean. After I go to work, maybe it's mentally draining somewhat, but physically I'm good. I'm sitting at a desk all day. But scrubbing, busting suds, and then that's just one part of it though. Now you're talking about everything that goes into running the home, the logistics of the home, not just cooking and cleaning. Whether the planters are knocked over in front of the house. Okay, we got to address that. Right? Yeah, you may tell your husband to do it or whatever, but you still have to do the mental labor. Okay, boom.
Like,
You said what?
I said I would do it myself.
Yeah, which is even more labor. I mean, that doesn't that makes it even worse.
I think it's all in like mentality, how you were raised.
Nah, it's in
Because
literal
like,
physical labor. It's not a mentality. It is literally physical labor.
yes, I understand what you're saying that, but to me, it don't feel like labor.
But it
I'm a
is.
stay-at-home mom. Like,
Mhm.
I'm a stay-at-home wife. It don't feel like that to me.
That's fine. I'm not here to convince you that your life sucks. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not what this conversation is about. But
No, I'm not saying that.
yeah, but I'm saying in reality though, in the real world, in reality, You know what I'm saying? Like BTUs, like how much energy, the output, and all of that stuff. Like in that world, being a stay-at-home mother and being a stay-at-home wife is very taxing, emotionally, physically, and mentally. No doubt about it. Now, to you, it may be easy because maybe Najee is a great husband and he's helping you out all the time, and so on and so forth. And that would make it, I can understand why it would feel easy. But if you're doing all the labor in the home all the time, and you're saying it's easy and it's nothing to me, that is not what, and my wife included, that is not what most women are saying about it.
I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's because how I was raised.
But it's easy to you.
Yeah, because when you're in school, where I was raised, when you're in school, all this is taught to you from when you get into high school. All of this stuff, like I came from a family of 10, there's 9 other siblings in the house. So taking care of like my husband and child, it doesn't bother me because from when I hit 12, I've already been cooking, cleaning, washing dishes, all of that stuff. So now that it's cut down, there's not as much people in the house. It doesn't feel like a chore to me. Because in school, you're already taught all of this stuff. Like cooking, you learn how to cook, you learn how to clean, you learn how to do, like I built circuits and all of that in high school. Like they prepare you to take care of home before you get out of school.
Yeah. That's all good. I'm not
at all. Like
yeah. I'm not denying any of that, and that's all well and fine, right? I'm just saying that what you're describing is, I mean, not in America. I don't know if you're from America, but because that doesn't sound like any school in America. But
no, it's not.
Yeah, in America, they're not raised
That's
like.
what I was telling my husband, like because they don't raise a lot of people to take care of themselves. So they depend on each other like that. Like,
but that's what I'm saying. I disagree with that. The women can
like,
take care of themselves though, man.
Women like that because they wasn't raised to take care of themselves.
No, but the women can take care of themselves though. The women aren't struggling taking care of themselves. They're doing just fine taking care of themselves. So they are raised to take care of themselves. The men aren't. The men are coddled.
Exactly. They're raised that way.
Huh? You just said that you don't think that they're raised to take care of themselves. I'm saying American women are definitely raised to take care of themselves.
No, the men.
Oh yeah, the men aren't. Yeah. The men aren't raised. Yes, without a doubt, men are coddled, without a doubt, in every country, but in America for sure.
Exactly. So they can't just change that mentality when they grow up. Like that's something like ingrained to them. Like they're raised like that.
Yeah, but that doesn't. But what I'm saying is since men, and this is gonna lead me to this is the whole thing. Men are not equipped to take care of themselves. So they end up in relationships, and like you just said, they end up being codependent on the woman, and the woman has to take on more labor than she would have if that man knew how to take care of himself. And that is taxing. That is the vast majority of women in the whole wide world, I don't care what country you're from, will tell you that's taxing, and they don't like it. There are whole movements against that. Not in America, in other places. There are whole movements against that treatment, against women feeling like and then to top it all off, they don't even get credit for it. They don't even get, you know what I'm saying? Like we should be throwing parades for like women for taking care of, you know what I'm saying? Like we should be like, thanks for just fucking taking care of us. Like this shit is crazy. But men are like, and some women are like, it's easy, it's nothing. Anybody can do that. I can do like, what? No, it's definitely very hard, very stressful.
And then women get online and hate on other women for that same thing, for saying that.
For saying what?
Like basically what my wife's saying.
Yeah, because that's dangerous, kind of. It actually hurts women to say that type of stuff. The same way if a man said that, women would feel the same way. It doesn't matter. You could be a woman or a man. If you say something that's potentially dangerous or harmful to other women, then they're going to clock it. Like, do they have to accept it because she's a woman? No. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I got up here and started talking about how men are like, if I started like lying on men, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I just got up here and was just like, I don't know. If I just started lying on men, I would say, like, I don't know. I can't even think of an example, but like, it would have to be something reverse. Like, men are the best Men do everything. You know, men are great. Men aren't coddled. Men know how to take care of themselves. Blah 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 blah. And then the women would be like, what? Which they do. You see what I'm saying? Like, women are like, that's not like, there's a bunch of men that basically do that all day and they lie on men, but that's harmful to women too. Like, lying on men and giving men that out is harmful to women. It ends up hurting women and men, but yeah, it ends up hurting women too. So yeah, that's great. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not here. It's not, brother and sister. I wasn't on some like, your life is terrible and you should feel stressed out. Like, that's great. If you feel like that, I'm really happy for, like, no cap. I'm really happy for you. But that is not reflective of the majority of women though. We got to be honest about that. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Najee, you could, hey man, you're doing a great job. Whatever you're doing, your wife is happy. That's you know, obviously you're doing a great job, right? You see what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give both of you guys kudos for that. That's great. But in the relationship, when the woman is doing all of that domestic labor and that man isn't helping, 99% of women get tired of that shit. 99% of women start to physically break down, emotionally break down from that shit. That's what I'm saying.
Facts.
Who's raising these men this way?
Society, men. The people that coddle men the most are other men. The people that are mothers do it too. Don't get me wrong. Mothers coddle us too. But even if mothers don't coddle their sons, all the men and all of society will coddle that man. All of society will tell that man, because I've seen it happen before. That's why I laugh when men be like, you know, growing up in a 2-parent household and da-da-da-da-da, you know, you got it better. Them men be trash as fuck. They be coming out of those situations not wanting to help that woman at all because they don't give a fuck because they mama did everything in their house and whatever. Like, and even if they daddies was doing something or whatever, as soon as they get out in the real world, as soon as they homies get to talking, as soon as they be in the locker room, as soon as they be at practice, as soon as they be at the gym, as soon as they be at work, the men get to yapping, or the TV get to telling them what they, you know, the TV showing them Al Bundy sitting on the couch not doing nothing when he come home from work, making $45,000 a year, right? Got him a beautiful woman in the household. When the TV tell you that shit, when the movies tell you that shit, when the music tell you that shit, that's hard to escape. That's a hard, you know what I'm saying? At that point, it's 1v20. You know what I'm saying? It's your mama or daddy versus the world. That shit is tough. That's tough. It's real. You fall into that trap of misogyny. Super easy for men. Super easy to fall into the cult. We're born into it, so it's hard. You got to escape from it. You know what I'm saying? You got to escape from the cult.
That's true.
It's fucked up. Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna go to Red Lipstick real quick. She been up here for a minute. What up, Red Lipstick? Red Lipstick.
Hey, public. Thank you so much for having me again.
No worries.
To answer the question, right? American men and American women both inherited the legacy of America itself. This country is founded on the principle of stealing, lying, shortcuts, not having a devoted culture, whether it be spiritual or racial, right? Things like that. So when you trickle down all of the historical facts that support American dysfunction, whether it be male or female, you now arrive at us. And it always seems cliche when we tell the truth because everybody's saying it, but nobody wants to agree with it. The American man is not suited for relationships at all. Statistically, he's not good at friendships. Statistically, he's not good at parenting. Statistically, he's not good at being married. He's not even good at being a son. In most households, females, the daughters, come back and take care of their elderly, clean the house, mop the floor, do the shopping. This is just known to be true. A lot of older American men now are dying alone and going to nursing homes as young men because they did not cultivate relationships with anyone. Statistically, it also shows that men are being found dead alone in their houses because
Unalived.
they did not have relationships with anyone who would find them before they started to stink or decompose. So I say all of this respectfully because I am not an agent of chaos. I have been studying myself to see how I can make a difference in my environment, how I can be a better mother and a better woman. and a spiritual person, right? So when I started to look at the entire equation, I said, oh, I get it. Men are being bred to be the thing, and women are being bred to be a part and to build something, right? So it goes in this big circle of women, American or even across the globe, are making better companions because we're being taught all our lives our role is to be a companion. We then start to wake up and say, I don't mind being a companion. That's my dream. But I want a companion back. I want it reciprocated. The modern man says, you are supposed to serve me. And why I think that
What
is true is because TV tells me that's true.
what man
Pop culture
what
tells me that's
Red
true.
Lipstick, what man
Mhm.
didn't say that? Because you said the modern man. What man didn't say that? What generation of man wasn't saying that? What you're saying right now?
Listen, you're 100% correct. I just want to say in context of me talking about the modern
Okay.
American man, not he is the only man,
Got
right?
you. Okay. I just wanted to
Because
make.
if
I
we
was like, hold
start
on.
digging that hole, we'll be talking forever.
No, I just wanted to make. I just wanted to clock it. I was like, wait, with the modern, because we throw that modern out there, and I'm like, why we acting like this is a 2024 thing? I just want to make sure
Now here's the
okay.
difference, though, because that is a good point, Public. The difference between the modern man and the man of the past is the man of the past had a clear-cut understanding of what he needed to do to get the reverence he wanted. The modern man feels like being born male is all it takes,
I
right?
will say, it was easier back then to get the reverence. It was easier to get the respect because all you had to do was work. Because the system was set up in such a way that the capitalists that built the system that funneled the women, they promised a wife slave to every man that went to work for them. Said all you got to do is show up at the factory, punch the clock, and leave after 10 or 8 or 10 or 12 hours or whatever. And when you go home, you'll have a wife slave there, right? Don't worry about it. And so they set the system. They said, okay, so all I gotta do is work for you, and I get home, and I could cheat, I could beat, you know what I'm saying, and that's it. Okay, cool. And they shook, and they made a blood oath, right, a blood pact, and so that's how that was set up. I don't think it was like because back then they understood. It's just more complex now. You know what I'm
Well, I
saying? Like,
agree and disagree. And the part of which you're speaking in its entirety, you're 100% correct. But the nuances is what's different because not much has changed. That is still the covenant we have to this day. But the average man don't even want to work. He won't go get the job. He won't go to college. He won't go to the factory. You got dudes
but
now, they don't even want to go to the block. And they used to
but
be
but
willing to do that.
because he won't get the woman though. That's my point. So the men
No, but he
won't work.
will.
No,
Because,
no, no.
okay,
No, listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. They won't get the woman even if they work because the women are requiring more than you just working. Do you see what I'm saying?
the
So it's way
average
more.
woman is not. That's the
The average
problem.
woman isn't requiring more than just having a
No,
job.
no. And let me tell you what's unfortunate. Because I'm telling you, as a woman that's traveling in the female circles, right? A lot of us still are not awake. A lot of us still have low self-esteem. And a lot of us are still willing to settle. Right? A lot of us. I'm not saying all of us, ladies, because I'm not that type of woman. Y'all aren't that type of woman. But unfortunately, based on indoctrination, the average woman will still accept a man if he will just work. They don't even want to do that. You see what I'm saying? Like, unfortunately, based on our history, the
Hey, hold on real quick.
average
Hold on real quick. I
woman.
got you. Hold on real quick. Hey, y'all, run a poll. Does the average woman is she okay with just a man working or not? I'm curious. I mean, you can reword it however you want to, but just one of the mods run that poll. I'm curious to see that. Only women answer, please.
And once again, let me clarify, because I know how social media can be. I am not degrading us as women, and I'm not trying to say all of us have this low self-esteem or something. I am specifically talking about a group of women. They exist, and they are not a small number. I can't be exact right now. I'll be humble. I don't have
No,
exact.
no, yeah.
But
This is
there are
just
a
you
large
guessing.
amount of women
Yeah, I don't
that
even
are
think
still okay.
I don't even think you're necessarily like thinking about it right now. I'm like, yeah, because the man still has access to the average woman. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
Even the
even just based on
scumbags,
that, I'm like, that might be true. Okay,
not
there's
even
some.
the average, even scumbags still have access to legitimate love and support from women.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
Because remember, every oppressed group is still suffering under oppression because you have the oppressed that are complicit.
Just
There
the job
are a
is just the
lot.
job is a little wild to me. I ain't gonna hold you, red lipstick. Just hearing
Listen,
that, but you might.
you want me to tell you something really real? I was 23 years old. I met a gentleman who was 15 years older than me.
God
I
damn.
was so crazy about him that all I wanted him to do was be successful for himself, and he could not do that. And I was shocked because I went through a phase where we modern day call it, the pick me. And because I had lost my mother young and I was outside going to college and making it happen on my own, I said, you know what? If a black man just picks me and he will provide for me, I will accept everything else because that's how bad I want a family. That mindset is still very common. And it took me to become an independent woman and to grow up to learn that that's not how it had to be. And this is why the predator men like us young, because they can catch us at that phase where we just want love and to support them. So we will take them even though that they may be failures in the society as a whole. I'm
Yeah,
telling
I know that.
you something deep. So when you now look at us as women who, and I am a black woman, we are the highest educated, people getting the promotions, the entrepreneurs. We had to evolve to a place, unless we were raised by woke people, we had to evolve to a place where we said just a job is not enough. But our default setting, based on conditioning, was that as long as a man would work, we would take him.
That's
And
wild.
that is still being taught.
All right, I'm. You
I'll
can
take
stay
a
up here.
moment. I'm sorry.
No, you good. You can stay up now. That was well. I needed to hear some of that. That was interesting. What up, Dex?
Hey, what up, public?
Chilling, broski.
Nice. Who is better suited for relationships, American men or American women? I mean, hands down, it's American women because the way I look at it is through actions and what happens, right? So, like, if men were really better at relationships, we wouldn't put laws into place to keep women in relationships, right? We wouldn't, right? Because we would just be likable, we'll just be loving, we'll just be caring, have empathy, and actually do the things that we're supposed to do for someone to love us, right? We didn't choose that route. And even when you're thinking about how this whole patriarchy thing started, capitalism wasn't a part of it. It was literally just men wanting power over women, right? So, because again, even with money, you would see men who have money, they would still resolve into abuse or violence or like degrading or because I truly believe the more power and the more money you have, it amplifies who you truly are, right? So men have chosen to create this system that we're in right now, right? To teach other men to do the same. And it's been going on for for thousands of years, right? So women has just been enduring it and hoping men do better because they want love, they want relationship, they want partnership, they want to go down with someone together and have a family, or like even if it's no family, but they just want love and caring, you know what I mean? Like, because if women didn't want that, they would have then choose violence just like what men did unprovoked. Women had a reason to use violence and to be heartless and to be, like hateful. And women, even though they faced that much violence from us unprovoked and that much oppression, they still was trying to look for a reason to be loving, to be in a relationship, to be in a partnership. We still fighting today to uphold. When we lost the ability to use laws to oppress, men were miserable and been trying to actually take those laws back, and we've seen it in real time. You understand? So men as a total do not care about relationship. They care about power and oppression and suffering. We've seen, like, literally we've seen it. So women is the better for relationship, hands down. Men have no idea about it. None whatsoever.
Well said, Dex. Hey, the new poll is up. Hit that poll one time. Hey, man. Hey, I love it, man. 124,000 likes. I love it. We doing good. Y'all tapping. Let's try to knock out some of these. Let's get it. Let's get a gift goal knocked out in the next like 10 minutes if y'all can. And bang the cash app one time for your boy. Let's keep the live alive. I'm rocking with y'all. I love y'all supporting me, man. Let's keep it up. Arthur, what's good with it, broski? Tony, what's good?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, brother.
All right, good. I think American women are more equipped for this reason. Just the guys that I know personally, they seem to be, even in my age, seem to be very immature. A lot of guys I've known when I was younger are still in the same spot as they were back then, and really still talking about the same subjects. Where to get girls at, where to try to make some sort of hustle, but that never actually comes about. And it's a brotherhood, but nobody follows the rules. All my friends stabbed each other in the back. They set each other up for money. They slept with each other's girlfriends. So I don't see them having a good relationship with anyone. They're pretty much emotionally stunted, the average one.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, they be sleeping with the homies' girls. That's
Yeah.
Man. I'm not saying I ain't never seen it before. I'm just like, man, that's whew.
Nah, I mean, I really, all my friends are ladies now, because as the years went by, I just seen the snake behavior. When we go out of town, you get drunk and you loose. Okay, you did what to a woman? Okay, I see. You did what to your homie? Okay. Well, now why am I going to trust? You understand? Guys that was in the streets snitched. It's just foul. So I don't see any kind of integrity from men to have any kind of soapbox to stand on, really. And I don't see it personally, and not even from the generation ahead of me and the generation underneath me.
It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. We're gonna have to dig them out.
I'm
We're
glad
gonna
I
have to
had
dig out the
sons and not
kids, man.
I'm glad I had sons and not daughters. I really am.
No, I don't say that, man. I used to feel like that too. I was happy when I had sons, but then later on, I was like, that feel crazy, man.
I know what you're saying. I'm just judging by what I would have to
endure,
release her to the world too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. It's like, but it'd be the same thing. Like, I'm glad I ain't white. I mean, I'm glad I ain't black. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of give me that vibe. Like,
I didn't mean it like that.
No, I know. That's why I'm just saying, like, because I used to think like that too, and then I thought about it, and I was like, that's fucking rude. Like, what do you mean? You know, so yeah. But I hear you, though. You're just saying because it's fucking tough for women. I understand, yeah. You don't want to have to be, because you're going to have to really feel that shit as a father. You're going to have to be right there with them, like, you know, helping her out all the way and protecting her and, you know, everything
My
you can
dad
do.
really did bring his gun to my sister's wedding. So, yeah.
Pew, pew, damn. Okay.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, we got to be safe in these streets, y'all. They bringing pew-pews to weddings now. Hey, it's a minute and 13 seconds left on the poll, y'all. Go hit that poll. It's interesting. The results are it's interesting. The results are interesting so far. What up, Jeff?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm chilling, brother. Good to see you, man.
Hey, yes, sir. Well, you already know, I mean, who's better suited for a relationship is going to always be the American woman at this point in time. And kind of like what you were saying, we need to dig out, like you talking about trying to help out the daughters. We need to do that, but help the fellas out. Like, here's something that I do personally. I make it a known point to my friend group, my guys, to continue to maintain relationships as we get older, into our 30s, into our 40s, into our 50s, because of like what Red was talking about a minute ago. Old men are dying by themselves. unaliving by themselves because they don't have someone to be there with them, right? So it's been a wild when you look into these people as women gain more rights and they know that they can leave the house and they don't have to take care of that man for the rest of her life. They're like, man, he ain't even did nothing for me. So she gone at 60, you know what I'm saying? So when she leaves and he doesn't have, once he retires, he has no friends because work was his life. That's what the system taught us. Not him, but the system taught us that.
Hold on, real quick before this goes. I just want to get the results of the poll. Will the average woman settle for a man who works? That was the question. 144 votes. 61.81% said yes. 38% said no. Wow. Damn. All right, go ahead, Jeff. That's crazy.
Yeah. And as you was talking to her, because I felt like you did to begin with, like, wait a minute, she won't. She just settles for the guy that works or whatever. And I was on your side with that to begin with, but like she brought up some good points. But the point that she was talking about fellas, by themselves, the system has taught us that because our fathers, grandfathers, that's what it was taught to do. You go to work and you get the lady. That's what happens. That was the system, That's not a good system. But now that we've introduced at least some women are more educated, women can buy their own homes, all this type of stuff. Now us as men have to elevate ourselves to be in the relationship together. And that's kind of what, like, we're missing that piece as men. And like I said, that's why I actively try to continue to maintain relationships with men in my life. That way we can, if nothing else, because you'll see a lot of older ladies together, you know what I'm saying? Because they've been friends. They've been raising babies together. They've been going to the park together. That's what they do. But once we retire, we don't talk to nobody no more, But anywho,
that's facts.
Yeah.
Men definitely should be more on that type of time, like, helping each other out and checking on each other, even, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially as when we get older. Oh yeah.
Yes, good night, everyone.
Good night, good evening. What's going on?
I'm good. I'm just listening to, the various points that's been made. And it just dawned on me, like, every scenario that people talk about when it comes to men in relationship versus women in relationships, I have witnessed except for a woman being unalived in a relationship. And it's sad because it just brings to reality that the facts, and it's sad that those things are facts. And all those things have taken place in my family, with the men mistreating the woman of my family. And I'm from the Caribbean, like I'm from the islands, so it's not just American men. It's men in other countries as well that do these things. Even my grandfather, he was just admitted to the hospital 2 days ago. Mistreated my grandmother for many years, cheated on her. I think I shared this story before. And now he's in a hospital. Nobody wants to really take care of him. Nobody wants to see him because he did not do right by the people of his family. So it's sad. And like Jeff said, like, men need to, like, really come together and really, try to show them a different way of doing things. Have that coming together. Because I often think, like, okay, who is going to teach them if they're not listening to the woman? Who would they listen to? Who would give them that aha moment, like, I need to change?
Yeah, that's for real. I don't know. And that sucks that men need that from a woman, and that's just more labor that we put on women. But you're right. That's what I say. I'm like, man, I wouldn't have changed without my wife. I don't think I would have. I definitely wouldn't have grown into the person that I'm growing into, without a doubt, without my wife. No fucking question about it. I'm not saying I wouldn't have got better and I wouldn't have matured. Like, I've always had the propensity to do that. But But nah, yeah, to be like where I'm at now, nah, without her, not a fucking chance. But hey, there's another poll in the corner, y'all. Hit that poll up there in the top left corner. I want to see the results on this one. We got about 2.5 minutes left.
I want to speak on that right quick.
Go ahead, sir.
The same thing you're talking about, like just having your wife in your life changed, your bounds ahead of where you would have been at without her. And y'all were talking about having a son and a daughter. My daughter's 16 now, and being able to raise her and see the things that she goes through just as a child. You have 2 children, but just seeing the difference in between my only daughter and how she's come through has also shown a lot of light to me too. You know what I'm saying? Just as far as development in that. So I'm thankful, because I had that same mindset too. Like, man, I want a boy, and then that way we can do boy stuff together. But I'm so thankful that I ended up with a daughter because of that. Like, it helped. I'm bounds ahead where I would have been at. That's not on her to do, but she showed me the light for that. Just not even knowing it, right? But anyway. But I think that's what we're doing. Some of what we're doing now. What she was talking about it's not on a woman's duty to show us the right way. It's men's place. That's the friend group that I have now. Like, we discuss these things, we talk about these things, we try to do better. Is it all the way right? It'll never all the way be right.
No.
But we try, and that's the thing,
Yeah,
So
that's the most important thing. Trying and putting the things into action. So
Can I just say that quick?
yeah, go ahead, Dex.
I
Appreciate
mean, literally what both of you guys just said is the reason why women are better. Because we all had to learn from women.
Facts.
Literally. We all had to do it. Because when we were taught as boys, it was to do problematic shit. We have to unlearn it. And that's why we'll continue to say it's all men until it's no men, because all of us were taught that. When you hear guys say women can't raise a man,
Stupid.
that is what they're talking about. Is to raise them to do problematic shit. Is to carry on.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's why they call us panderers when we show
Clock
empathy.
it.
Show care. They want us to uphold the toxic behavior. They want us to uphold the toxic mentality, the beliefs. You understand? They want to uphold the cult of men. You understand what I'm saying? That is why they would punish us or try to punish us or shame us from doing what we're doing, because they don't want that. They don't want to
facts.
see women happy. You know what I
Hey,
mean? So just you guys saying that's it there.
that's exactly what it is. That was crazy. I got to read the results of this poll. Who's better suited, American men or women? 156 votes, 98.72% said women, 1.28% said men. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. And guess what? It's 2 men. That's it. It's 2 lonely. I want to emphasize the lonely. 2 lonely ass men. Lonely. 2 lonely ass men. And that's really what it is, man. That's crazy. That's really what it is. I ain't gonna shout y'all out, but that's nuts though.
Wait one more time, please.
Lonely.
Excuse me. Thank you so much, Dex and Jeff, for being willing to share and validate your points based on my original point. Because when we can hear the truth from men, we're more willing to engage with them and work with them, right? And earlier, because I had to piggyback on this based
Hold
on
on.
some
Hold
comments.
on. We don't want to give you false hope, Red Lipstick. I ain't gonna even hold you.
No, the same way bad men don't represent all men, good men don't represent all men either. I get the truth and the fairness of it. But it goes back to when I was talking about the history of America being why American men are unsuited. America is founded on the backs of free labor. And it wasn't just racial free labor initially. We all have to remember that. It was, I'm the descendant of nobility, and I've been sent here to whip you prisoners and poor people into shape by our mother country. So I'm going to abuse you all and treat you all terrible too, even though we are both YT. But if you work and do your labors, we promise you women, right? Like I said, it's a lot of the time it's man versus man, and the collateral damage is women and children. So when you have that psychology going, the American man, a global man really, but the American man is going to be abusive every time because his purpose was never to be a man of valor or purpose. His purpose was to generate income, and women's purpose was to keep him sedated through sex and servitude.
That's
This is
facts.
what the
Hey Jeff,
issue is.
you make it. Your mic is unmuted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me.
No, I was saying Jeff. His mic was unmuted. It was. I didn't know if he knew it or not. It was making some noises. I'm unmuted.
Oh.
You good? Go
But
ahead.
yeah, so when we're talking about America specifically, we have to remember that they love to call it the nation of immigrants, but in fact, it's the nation of contracted slaves. And we will
Facts.
use all of the women that we can to keep you sedated with your ego, sedated by letting your testosterone go, right? Because men are not as strong after they've had orgasms as they are if it gets pimped up, right? And we're going to use the spiritual aspects, the physical aspects, and the false societal prospects to have women gatekeep y'all and just keep you just lost. As long as you can subjugate a woman, you will.
They would use parts of the system to still uphold both. You know what I mean? That's why you'll hear conservative men say they're going after black men. And that's what they're doing because they're using certain things, giving them the access to women, giving them the access to oppressed women. Like, you know what I mean? Because that's what they hold on to. And while still not being able to access the capitalism part of it because they would still be like slaves. You know what I mean? But that's the nuance in it. I just wanted to explain that. But I agree with you, Jeff.
Well, I mean, if you look back on history, like just like the women's suffrage movement, there was only a third of women that supported voting. That now I think that number is a lot different. You know, all women you essentially want to vote now, but because propaganda and we used it to push the narrative of that, we used it to try to hold people down. You know, the people that were in power, not per se the public.
I want to tell you something, Jeff. I want to believe. I do know the majority of women still want the right to vote, but man, I don't know, man. I feel like there might be like 1 out of 3 women that would be like, that's like, I don't need to vote. I think
it's
like,
fear.
I think it's high, man. I don't know how high the number is, and I don't want to say the certain demographic of women specific, but I feel like there's a certain demographic of women that would represent a lot of women. I feel like it's about a third of them motherfucking. They'd just be on some like, you know, I mean, you know, we don't really need to vote because I'm like, when I'm just looking at the political landscape, like I can say the same thing. Look, I think about about 20% of black men. Okay, well, black people not voting no more as long as we can go back in the day where they got a white slave. Because that's the thing that's the thing that they don't understand is that for us to get the thing that you like when they talk about going back, like when black men be on that like MAGA shit, like go, you know, make America great again, but for black, you know, that let's go back to Black Wall Street and all that shit. We gonna get what you think gonna happen. If you want to take away the rights of women, black people gonna lose rights too. It's a 1-to-1. You know what I'm saying? So you want to strip women of their rights? Okay, Bucko. Okay, pal. Let's see how that turns out. But we have romanticized that idea to the point to where I think a large portion of black men want to go back to that time. The same way we have romanticized that idea, and I think a large portion of YT women also will be willing to go back to that time. You know what I'm saying? It's the same. To me, it's kind of, you know, we already know white men would be more than willing to go back to that time.
Yeah.
You know, we already know that.
I would say the difference is,
That goes
though,
without
the black
saying.
man, I would say the difference is, though, the black man wants to go back to experience that time because he could not experience it the way he could now. He's trying to take his privileges of now and juxtapose them over that era.
Oh yeah, no, they don't know.
I
They don't
agree.
exactly, Red Lipstick. They don't know that if that's what I'm trying to tell them. Though they don't know that if we go back to that time, you're not going to be black man 2024.
Exactly.
You're gonna be black man 1894. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't like and go. You need a history lesson. You need a refresh in the course. Like
And this is what
Look,
makes them so disturbing because the whole time we're sitting here and we're like, my God, the number one resource of the world is the female, right? We're the number one natural resource. If you control the female, and this is not just the human female, if you control any type of female down to a female tree, you now can control the male species of whatever it is you control. It's all about how America was a genius. It's infamous, but it's still genius. They are the first nation and superpower to figure out how to strip the earth of everything it has in order to be more powerful than everybody else.
Yes.
Right? And that includes the divine feminine, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So when the black male specifically says, I want to go back to that time, that is because, in my opinion, because our education and our religions were also snatched from us, the black male forgets that the greatest, most prominent time of his existence was when society was matriarchal.
Yeah, but that was
Africa,
a long
that's
time ago.
matriarchal. Exactly. He's forgotten that he truly thrives when women are in charge.
Nah,
He
but
was
women weren't. But
surviving
wait.
patriarchy.
But Red Lipstick, women weren't in charge in the matriarchy. That's the thing about the matriarchy. It was egalitarian. It wasn't like women were at the top and men were second. It was everybody shared. You know what I'm saying? That's what.
I call women being in charge.
Oh,
When
okay,
women
cool.
had-
Oh, I got. Okay, I'll accept that too. Yes. Okay,
when
cool.
women
Yeah.
had their truest power, it was
They
when
share it.
power was shared amongst
Yeah.
everyone.
Exactly. Okay.
That is
Mhm.
100% correct.
Yeah.
I think we just got a difference of semantics.
Yeah.
But
You're right. No, you're
I'm
right. We all loaded. You got me together. We good now.
I'm saying exactly that. So it's like, to make it very simple and plain, patriarchy was a scam because what it did was it convinced men that the more access you have to sex is equal to power, instead of the more access you have to the female mind is equal to.
Well, and
Real
that,
spill.
and that's the crazy thing about it, right? Because in the beginning, men used to use violence in order to gain submission, right? And when they no longer do that, they use indoctrination. Although indoctrination was part of it back then, but it was more subtle. Violence was the higher of the two.
I think men still use violence at a
Not,
very high rate.
oh no, not compared to back then. Back then it was outward. Like, it was celebrated, it was outward, you going on a life.
Definitely, it was. Yes,
It
it was
was way,
definitely.
way
More,
worse.
yeah.
It's different, it's a different type of violence now.
Yeah.
It's not
You're
like
right.
the
You're right.
physical violence. They
Yeah.
use more indoctrination. So like when it comes to us as black men, what Red Lipstick was talking about, we forgot that because of fear and followed up by indoctrination.
Yeah. Facts. Yeah, man. We gotta wake that up. That's a good. I like that. That was good. That was like eating vegetables and drinking water right there. I like that type of shit. Are you not entertained though? I'm trying to figure it out. We stuck at 153,000 likes, man. I feel like we should have been over 200,000. Like 500 people in here. Let's turn it up a little bit. Hey, go ahead. Oh yeah, you ain't saying nothing in a minute. I want you to get it in real quick. I got some people in the queue. Oh no, I don't. Never mind. Damn. I ain't got nobody in the queue. That's crazy. Go ahead.
No, but I like the points that's being made, especially about capitalism, because I've already made so many arguments about this, and I've always had like a pushback, and of course it's by men, and I always look at it as like a slavery type of situation because you're always having to stand on the back of somebody to get more, and you're giving one group, and not even like a large group, just like a 1% more than the rest of everybody. And it's like, don't you see how wrong that is? Why are you defending this? And they would like defend this like tooth and nail. And I'm like, how could you even like see? And you're suffering too. You're suffering too along
But y'all
with it.
suffering more. Suffering more. And we
Right.
cool. As long as y'all suffering more, we cool with that.
And that's the problem. It's just like, even if we're suffering more, the fact that we're suffering, period, is an issue. And they're not able to see that. And that's very disturbing. That has been something that's been on my mind for the longest time. I'm like, how could you not see this?
Can
That's
I
facts.
give a quick example of it?
Mhm.
Like, I've learned a way how I could ease, like, I used to have really serious migraines, right?
Shit, me too. I still get them.
No, luckily I stopped, but I used to get really serious migraine when I was young. and my uncle, who was big into martial arts and stuff like that. So he taught me a way of squeezing between my
Sorry,
thumb
Cash.
and
I didn't mean to do
finger,
that.
and I would squeeze it for a period of time and then release it. And because it was such intense, when I release it, everything else went away. So what I realized was I put myself through some pain, although I was going through pain, but the pain that I went through, put myself through, when I released it, it felt good. So I ignored the first pain and think that I am better, but it would just come back. And I think that's what, when you said that just now, we said that what it reminds me of that. Like, I mean, just because it had a relief of a little bit of the first pain, you now don't think it's as bad as before. You guys understand or no?
No, I understood. Yeah, I was just on mute. I was
I
typing
think I
something.
understand because it goes back to my concept of saying it's a scam, right? And they taught men another indoctrination that you're supposed to suffer. So as long as the woman is suffering more than you, she's paying for her crimes for being a dirty woman, right? But you're a man, you're going to suffer. So it's normal for you to suffer, but you must make her suffer more because we're punishing her, whether we base that fallacy in religion or behavior, blah, 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 right? So once again, for me, it's like we're talking about the symptoms when we know the true disease. All of this is about male survival. Males know they will die off without us. They cannot live in large numbers without women. So patriarchy was a survival tactic that just manifested itself in multiple different ways. We all could name them. But it was really about, hey, when the women choose to give birth or not with their own discretion, we notice that they are having more girls. And if they do have us, we die before we even reach adulthood because we cannot make it on our own, right? Because the age of adulthood keeps rising. And I notice the age of consent for sex is dropping, but the age of responsibility is rising. So that means even a girl is considered a woman before her time if it's for sex, but a young man is still considered a boy at 21. Oh, you can't
Crazy.
hold him responsible for what he's doing. He's still a growing man. No, he's grown, my guy. If she's grown enough to be penetrated at 18, 16, 17, he's grown enough to fight for his country, get an education, pay his taxes at 21. What are we talking about? But I'll land my plane for a second because I know I can be long-winded.
Nah, you good. Hey, matter of fact. Hey, hold on. Where we at? Oh yeah, nah. We about to have to wrap this thing up for you, boy. I gotta go eat. I gotta go cook dinner and get active on this grub thing. I'm hungrier than a hostage. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm gonna let you end it, and I appreciate everybody coming up here. Dex, Red Lipstick. Oh yeah, y'all come up here again, man. Go ahead, Jeff.
That's what I was just finna say. I'm finna jump off here, but I appreciate all the insight. Matter of fact, I screenshot this because I think I'm gonna have a live up on here on the same thing here in a couple days.
Bet. Do it. Run it.
Yes, sir.
Sound like a plan. All right, broski. Have a good night, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you on the Zelle, man. Who got me on the Zelle? Beatrice, appreciate you. Beatrice on the Zelle, I appreciate you. Bang the Cash App one time, man. Are you not entertained? That was fun. Yeah, man, damn. Peace out, Jeff. That was fun. I like that, man. Appreciate you, James. Fun things, man. Fun things. Fun things. Where that poll at? Appreciate you, Crystal. Yeah, that was a good live. Lady Q, I appreciate the Cash App. Shout out to my mods, man. All the new mods, all the old mods. Appreciate everybody that banged the Cash App, man. Y'all can keep banging until we finish. You know what I'm saying? $1 a do. We almost there. Let's try to do this last little give goal. Knock that give goal out for your boy one time, man. Oh, man. It was fun. I'm off tomorrow. We back on. We back on it like a honey. We back on it like a honey. Had a good time. Spectacular time. It was all fun and games. What time? We're going to be on in the morning tomorrow. I'm going to be back on. Back on in the morning. Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, let me. I've been meaning to start doing this just because I feel like I want to shout everybody. I'll make sure. Hey James, I appreciate you for the Cash App, Lady Q, Tamika, Chantel, to Nigel, Yolanda, Nicole, Suburban Bay, appreciate you, Jocelyn, JP, appreciate you, Kel, Gal, appreciate you, Lady Q, Lovey, Tamisha, appreciate y'all, man. Supporting the live, you're keeping the live alive. Appreciate you, Jenny, Ebony, Ronika, Fifi, appreciate you. Andrea, Paige, Nick, Carmela, Tashelle, Kimberly, Bianca, Allie, Deborah, Catrice, Lovey, Amani, Nurse Ash, Lady Q. Appreciate you, Allie, again. Christina, Clarice, Erica, M, Denisha, LJ, Ty Holly, Natasha, Constance, Elizabeth, Shakayla. I appreciate y'all. I really do. I really do. Shout out to everybody.